60
Yep.
years and 70 years and shit like that. But now that we broke down some of these motherfuckers and made them change their name for after years, ain't Jemima ain't Jemima no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like
Where's
now that you
Sears? Where's Sears? Where's Sears? You
mm.
know? Right? Oh, MTV, you fucking didn't listen to us and we wanted music, bitch. You're gone. Okay, bye.
You
You
wouldn't
need
put
to,
Prince on there, but guess what
right?
now? Hmm.
Guess what? You're gone. You're gone. Okay. And TikTok can go that way too. They don't want to, be fair. Like just fucking be fair. It really bothers me sometimes that I will get a notification that like you are live or Trust But Verify is live. I want you guys to pay very close attention to the names of the creators I'm speaking of. Thinker is live, Ria is live. But when I go up to the top, I follow all of you. I go to your lives. Why am I not seeing you up at the top? I'm sorry. I think it's a
What do you
fucking
mean when you
racist
go
app.
up at the top? What do you mean
You
when
know,
you
when you
go?
go, when I go to my when I go to my inbox, I can see who's live up at the top.
Right.
Okay, you guys aren't there sometimes, but you've sent me a notification that you are live. You've shared it to me. And so I'm like,
Mm.
why am I only able to find out when you share it to me? And why am I having how come you're not up there?
Well,
You know what I mean?
one thought that comes to mind is TikTok didn't know. They didn't foresee how powerful and how big of a movement these lives would be.
Yeah.
So they didn't account for that being positioned above messages. If that were the case, I don't think they would have put it there because it could literally be 100 lives before you actually get to people's stories, right?
Right.
So I think they just placed it wrong, and they're now dealing with, oh wow, we didn't expect this to be like this. We need to reformat where to place this on the board.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm just sick of TikTok shit. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna play the game best we can. I only have 10 shares. I do need you guys to like share it out real quick. Everybody shared to 10 people. There is 18 people in here. If everybody shares to 10 names, just copy and paste 10 times. I don't care if you don't want to send it to your friends, but if you do that, we'll get to the 100 and we are tapping, so we will get to the 5,000. But yeah, I it's all I can do. I make content. I am consistent now. I'm doing all the things that I'm told to do on TikTok, and yet they still don't push me out. But eventually, there will be 40 to 50 people in this live, and so I know people want to watch because they show up. They eventually find their way in here. So I don't know, it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep building YouTube, and um, hopefully that will. Aaron, Sunny, come up.
Look, I said I'm gonna keep cleaning this community. I don't care if y'all don't push this shit. I'm doing something. You know what I mean? And
You
and so are you.
are.
So are you, Crystal. I love that you are being a beacon in your community for sensibility and humanism and love and kindness. So you keep doing that. I don't care how many
You know
people.
what? If I can, I will try one day to come out and meet you and clean up with you. Okay. I don't know when yet. It will have to be like probably
Oh,
in the
you local
spring.
friend?
Okay. I'm in South SoCal. I'm in Riverside County.
Oh, baby, I will send you the info, twin.
Okay. I
It's in
will. And then,
February. So we're
okay.
we're we're adopting blocks this year, and in February I'll have like a couple of dates where I'm cleaning up, and I would love to. Oh my God, that would be so much fun to meet one of my TikTok friends,
I
my
know.
TikTok atheist
I
friends,
and my twin, my birthday twin. I would love it
and we
so
need to
much.
plan a birthday get together this summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to be 60 this year, so I want to have a big, huge bath for my 60. So I want
I
to do
hear
something
that.
special. You know what I mean? Like I want
Those
to
can
do
get
something cool.
expensive. Those
Well,
can
yeah,
get
I mean,
expensive.
like
I
I don't
understand
really
if
like.
if
I don't want to like rent a hall, but I want to go do something special. Like I don't do things usually for myself. I
well,
want to do something.
this is all I'm saying. If it's for the public, I'm willing to travel. I will travel. Riverside is not far. Got a few family members live that way. But also we can do our own thing too. You know, we can go out for
Yeah,
lunch and meet up for lunch.
yeah. I would love to do that. That would be great. I hope you guys are all following Tommy J. By the way, Tommy J is a musician. Oh my God, he's a Prince lover, and he can sing some Prince too. But he is just amazing. So make sure you guys are all following Tommy J. He's my birthday twin. So, and that made me happy because I used to try to find out what celebrity was born on my birthday. I don't know if you've ever done that, Tommy J. But our birthday doesn't have a lot of really cool celebrities. I could,
Look again, friend.
who is
Or
it? Tell
you
me.
talking about
Tell
the
me
actual
some,
day? You talking
the
about the actual
actual
day?
day.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about cancers.
Yeah, no,
Let's
the
lump them
actual
all in.
day, Gary fucking Busey is.
See, I don't even know that name. I'm about to go on
You don't
TikTok real
want
quick.
to. Okay, no. Gary Busey was a famous actor, but he sounds crazy now. Okay, but to be fair to him, okay, he has traumatic brain injury. So people mock him. They really shouldn't, because the reason he does sound crazy is he was in a motorcycle accident a few decades ago, and now he has traumatic brain injury. But
Yeah,
it is,
and also just not my generation of actors.
no.
I don't know him. I'm sorry, I don't know that man. I
Good.
apologize.
That's good. You you don't want to know. He just says the funniest thing. He talks in acronyms all the time. You know, like Bible. What is the acronym people use for Bible?
Believers, best oh shit, what is
Information before leaving Earth or something like that. You know, and
yeah.
he'll do that, and that's how he talks, like all the time. He's he's lost a lot of marbles over the years. So. Yeah. But the other person that eventually I found out, and you probably won't know this guy either, but I can't think of his last name right now, but he's that dungeon master, Matt something, for Dungeons and Dragons. Um, Dang it, I can't think of his name, but actually he seems like a pretty cool dude. So I was like, okay, there's some redemption. But then I met you, and I was like, fuck everybody. Tommy J is my birthday twin. That's all that
Hey,
matters to me now. I just needed one cool person to be my birthday.
and
And
I'm
I was like,
running with it.
yay, hell
Like I'm
yeah.
gone.
Hmm. Yeah, everybody on the panel went to go search for the actor Betty.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Slay, how are you?
Hey, Schley.
Hey, Tommy J. Oh, I've just been in my ranty feelings this morning. We all know, but I'm excited to be here. Hi, Sunny.
Hi, Sunny.
Sorry, I just took a bite of salad. Hi.
What kind of salad, Sonny?
Oh, a Caesar salad?
As long as it doesn't have fruit in it, you're winning with me.
Oh, no.
And my
No fruit
salad
here.
is a no-no.
Nope, just a plain old Caesar salad.
Okay, but fruit and salad, like watermelon salad with spinach and balsamic and feta and like
Blocked.
nuts.
Blocked. Blocked.
Nuts?
The
Maybe
only,
a nice candied pecan. Come on, it's
I
so
don't know, the only
good.
fruit I like in my salad is cranberries. Like the
Yes,
dried, the craisins.
yes, cranberries. No, it's so good. Watermelon salad. Come on, you guys. Eat your spinach.
Eat your spinach. I don't like cranberries in my salad. I'm not gonna. I'm actually. I don't think I like fruit in my salad unless it is a fruit salad and it's just all fruit.
Oh my gosh, am I the only contrarian?
I think so,
Um.
Schley, on this topic. I still love
Damn,
you.
tough crowd.
Yeah.
Love it for
Yeah.
you. Like if I look over at your plate and it looks all pretty and has like different colors in it, great. I will be ordering the Caesar.
Me too. No, no anchovies though. No, or sardines or whatever the fuck it is that they sometimes put in the Caesar. Um. Yeah. I don't think I like fruit in my salad. I'm trying to think if I ever, because I know that I think I've had it with strawberries before. Some, but well, to be fair to fruit, vegetables aren't real, so all salads are fruit, right?
I think we need to what? I think we might need to change the topic. I think we're gonna have a fight.
Oh no,
And
don't do that.
Tahir is saying tomatoes are a fruit.
Yeah, so all vegetables are fruit. Vegetables are a culinary invention. They're not. I mean, they're not all fruits. They're fruits or um they're other things. They're not. There's no such thing as vegetables. There's no such thing as vegetables. So everything is a fruit.
Hmm.
Well, not
And,
there's not.
and the way I wrap my mind around it is that the first, like original things, so all have seed or have a like the things that grow on earth or on soil and in water.
Hmm.
They well, not in water, not on earth. But see, that trips me up. So like mycelium, it operates different than plants, and it happens different in time as well. But I get what Crystal's saying because the byproduct of something that grows like a plant would have really had a seed to spread. This plant doesn't have a seed because of agriculture. It's propagated because people plant it next to each other and plant it over and over and over again from a seed that doesn't even come from it. Have you ever bought a seed for a plant and you're like, how does it have a seed for this? I've never seen a seed in this vegetable.
Yeah,
Where's the
yeah, like
seed
a
come
head of
from?
lettuce or something. Where is the seed, right? You pull out a head of lettuce, you look through it, there's not a seed in there, but you plant seeds to grow the lettuce, right? I have to tell you guys the funniest shit that the TikTok do you when you go live, do you notice now that TikTok says little things to you in the chat? It says, your followers commenting, your content is so attractive. Thank you, TikTok. Now just push my shit out, okay?
Oh wow. It's like
Thank
encouraging
you.
you. Like that was a really great point, Crystal.
Yeah, good job. Then there's another comment that says, your live keeps attracting comments. Great engagement. So good job, everybody. I just, they shared your live. Your influence is booming. I'm not sharing. These are all things that keep
Booming,
telling.
not
It's
booming.
booming. It's booming, y'all.
That's fantastic.
This
You
is
know
so
what?
funny.
I do think I need to tread lightly when I say this. But when somebody gives me a compliment and they say it in their native language and like English might be their second language, right? Or they don't speak English and they compliment me and somebody tells me, "Oh, they said you dress really really clean." And I'm like, "Really clean?" Like in I feel like TikTok is speaking to me in Chinese and they
Yes,
don't
Yeah.
really know how to tell me
yes.
when I'm fucking the
That's
game up.
true.
It's
They're
That
that
just
is
showing.
AI
so true.
language.
All right, let me try this other one. All right. You guys, I need 11 more shares. Can we do it? Can we do it? 11 more. Let's get those shares out there. Ariel Almighty, how are you today? I saw Dugald, Coffee Roasted Jesus. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to actually talk to you both today if you want. Um, Believers, why do you believe? Non-believers, why don't you? So if any of my co-hosts want to talk about why they don't believe, I'd love to hear about it.
Oh my
Their shares
gosh.
keep your popularity rising.
Wait, what?
That's what it just said again. It just keeps sending me stupid, encouraging messages. I wish they would do fortune cookie ones instead. That would be better, right? Like if it came up and said, today you will meet a dark-haired stranger. I don't know.
If
See,
it
you
just
gotta
like
tread that
floats up
line
on your
talking about
screen and
fortune
then
cookies.
oh my gosh.
So, Schley, why don't you believe?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've already
Give you one.
been ranting all morning. What part of this story do you want to know? I don't know. Because
Um, What do you think is the main reason that you could never go back?
Mm, I don't think you're gonna like this answer from me because
I just like honesty, so I'm sure I'll like it.
it's anecdotal. Like I was talking with Mister about this last night about how logic and reason don't often win with the majority of people because feelings are so visceral and they matter more to most people. So,
That's
um, personal experience trumps, whatever kind of case study you can throw in front of them or, scientific evidence or, logical argument because it's not connecting with their lived experience and their feeling. And for me, it's probably like the experiences that I've had with psychosis. Losing my faith was not something that I ever wanted to do. And it's not something that I set out to do or meant to do. And there was no reason for it to happen. If God wanted a perfect little soldier, I was the girl,
right.
So there was like no reason for any of the things to happen that led me away, and yet here we are. Um, but in my mind, because of what psychosis does to your mind, um, I've been to hell. I've experienced what that's like, and I just can't imagine that a loving God would create such a place. So it kind of all unravels. It's cruel.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, that is one of the topics that I want to talk about, maybe this week, or next week or whatever. Is I might just make a topic that says I don't believe in hell, because I actually, the more I just think about the whole religion in general, the more I realize that my lack of belief in hell is a big portion of it. Because if I don't believe in hell, there's really nothing to gain by believing in any of it, right? Because the whole, like, you believe because you're so scared of this permanent torture in the afterlife, right? Like, I don't
It's a
know.
very compelling thing to threaten someone with eternal doom and conscious torment. That's a pretty compelling reason to believe, especially
Yeah,
as a fucking 3-year-old, right?
exactly the age I started learning about God was at 3. And the more even that I just studied the Bible, I don't think that hell is even a clear, um, like a clear description of anything in the Bible. It's always vague. And it's different depending on
Right.
where you read it in the Bible. So I don't, I think it was just made up to be a scare tactic.
Mhm.
Let's welcome our guest to the live. Oluwa, welcome to the show. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I'm over 18.
Okay,
Thank you
and
for
are you a
welcoming me.
believer? Yeah, no problem. Are you a believer or a non-believer?
I'm a believer.
All right, and why do you believe?
So, everything related to theology, it's all subjective. You can't really prove that there's a God. I admit that. So, it's all based on what you hope. So, when I look around, I see, okay, if I'm an atheist or, what happens after death? Pretty much nothing, right?
But just
So,
believing doesn't make it true. Doesn't if you go, "But so I want there to be eternal life, so I'm going to believe there's eternal life," doesn't make eternal life true.
exactly, I agree with you. But I'm hoping for it. And that's exactly what faith is it's hope. So, let me give you an example. So I have a 6 year old and I have a 3 year old. To me, I can't imagine being on this earth with my children for so long and then I die and then that's it. So I'm hoping.
It's a
So
similar thing for me. I can't imagine being on this earth and then we die and one of them goes to hell just because they didn't believe. That seems
And
way more horrific than me dying and never living again. That seems way more horrific.
I agree 100% with 110% with you. That's why, you know, there are certain things that I hope for. One, like I can't imagine after I die not being able to see my children, right? Two, I can't imagine a God that creates you and then, damns you to hell if you don't believe in him. Which is why I don't believe that. So I had to look around to see if, do any religions believe that? So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints believes they don't believe in hell. One, and they don't believe that God actually created you. They believe that we're all eternal beings. We're eternal just like the Father. It's just that he's more advanced than us.
So you're a Mormon?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't
So,
find any of the story about Joseph Smith absolutely ridiculous?
um, so I've looked into the stories, and I've come to the conclusion that if if Joseph Smith is quote unquote a bad person, then of course you guys are probably agree with this, but then everybody in the Bible was a bad person because
Absolutely.
there isn't anybody of course, so there isn't anybody that is perfect.
No, but
If
I
there
not
was
just that
if
I
there was
think that Joseph Smith is a bad person. I believe he was a con man. I believe there's lots of evidence for that. And I believe that it's absolutely a ridiculous story to think that he looked into some hats and read a language that never existed. I think the whole story is so far fetched that and I don't understand why anybody would believe. Like I don't I literally watched the South Park episode and I think how does any Mormon watch this and not go, "Oh my god, this is like the dumbest story." Like I don't understand.
and that's perfectly
Crystal,
fine.
real
Like
quick, sorry, hold on, real
if you
quick.
read those
Crystal, one of
things
the biggest,
from if you read
hold
those
on,
things
hold
without
on, real
Wait,
quick,
wait,
context,
Olu.
what I've
Olu,
learned.
hang on 1 second. Tell
I
me
just
one
wanted to
perfect
chime in
story.
real quick. One of the biggest musicals that there are, like when we study theater and stuff like that, it's like one of like the epitomes of shows that you want to be casted for is the Book of Mormon. And all they do is make fun of Mormons that entire show. It just did its, I guess, like another wrap around the world. It was amazing. It's one of the best shows today. And they're
And
making fun
Mormons
of their
love it for
whole,
some reason. I don't know why
so
they love
strange.
that show. It's so
It's
funny. But
also a corn,
yeah,
it's also a corn category.
yeah, that's crazy. No, go on, Olu, go on.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully people aren't taking these things that they're seeing on on theatrical shows or they're seeing on cartoons and using that to form an opinion about a faith's theology or their doctrine or their beliefs. Hopefully not.
Well,
Um,
why wouldn't
but
we be able to go? It's a form of art, and as an artist myself, I think that art often tells more truth than anything else. Okay, it indicts people, it indicts systems, and the fact that the South Park creators, who also created the musical, by the way, the fact that they have made this piece of art, it shouldn't be negated just because it's a cartoon or a musical. It should be that we fact check it, which I have, and they don't say anything that's wrong. He really did look into a fucking hat. There really were people who pushed back and were negated. He really was just a shyster before he came up with this story. The Book of Mormon really does have names in it that are literally his brothers and sisters. There is so much evidence to show that things that they are saying in the musical, in the episode on South Park, that those things are actually true stories.
yeah, so see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's unfortunate that people will look at those things and then take them as fact because even some of the things you said are not fact.
Tell me one thing
I
I
kind of
said
don't
that's
want to
not
get away
fact.
from the point. I kind of don't want to. Okay, what was
Well,
that?
I want you to, if you're going to say I said something that's not true, I want to fact check it. What did I say that
Okay.
was?
Well, one thing you said his family's names are in the Book of Mormon. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
there are names from his family in the Book of Mormon. What names
okay.
of
So
Joseph
we're
Smith's
gonna.
families were in the Book of Mormon as characters?
I'm sorry.
I'm looking
Are
it up
you?
for you right now
Oh, okay.
in
Yeah.
real time.
Perfect.
And just
I'm
real
sorry,
quick,
my internet's slow.
oh, Olu, I think you're a little confused in what she's saying. Like, she's not saying that she's just watching cartoons and then just taking that at face value and believing everything that's being said. She's saying she sees these cartoons, it highlights some of the absurdities, and then she goes and does further research and learns more about it. So that's what she's
Okay.
saying. She's not saying that just watch it and believe everything that she's seeing. It's just something
Yeah,
that it draws attention to that for her to then go and research.
I
Okay,
understand that,
Joseph
but
Smith's immediate family names include Joseph Sr., Lucy or Mac, Alvin, Hiram, so- Sophronia, Samuel, Ephraim, William, William, Don Carlos, and Lucy. Joseph is mentioned, Samuel the Lamanite. Hiram appears in Ether. Hiram appears also. I didn't make this up. This is actually the truth. He also quotes George Washington in the Book of Mormon.
okay, can I?
He takes right from a letter George Washington wrote. These things aren't things that you can't fact check. These are things you absolutely can fact check, and I do that when I listen to art. I love to learn from the art, but I'm also gonna fact check art. I know it's art.
It's not hard. So,
Yes, it is. Cartoons are art, and so are musicals.
oh,
They're
I
a
thought you
form of
said it.
art.
I thought you. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you said it's not hard. That's why I
Oh
said
no,
no,
it's
it's not
art.
hard.
I check
Okay,
art.
I got you. So when you say his family's names are in the Book of Mormon.
Yes, he took names that he already knew and used them as characters in the Book of Mormon.
I mean, I mean they're completely different people, but I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying.
They
I
might,
can see.
I don't care. Yes, of course they're completely different people because one is fictional, one was his brother. Of course they're completely different people. But I'm
Okay.
sorry, some of these names were not actually Alvin. Alvin is in
Uh,
Alma. Alvin was not a Hebrew name, dude.
no, Alvin
Alvin,
is not in Alma.
yes, it is.
Okay,
Oh, Alva
pull up.
equals Alma. I'm sorry. Alvin
No, Alvin does
equals
not
Alma.
equal Alma. Where did you
Smith
get that
family.
from?
Alvin Smith, beloved older brother who died in 1823. Book of Mormon, Alma, major prophetic figure. Phonetic similarity, not an exact match. Alman was known late Latin name, though rare in English usage at the time. The Smith family, Lucy Mack Smith, the mother, Book of Mormons, no direct Lucy, but multiple maternal archetypes. Smith family, Ephraim was in there. He uses people from his own family as characters in the Book of Mormon. He also, what is the part that he took directly from a letter from George Washington in the Book of Mormon? I'll pull that up for you too. It was a well-documented rhetorical borrowing from a letter attributed to George Washington, was widely circulated in Joseph Smith's time. So George Washington wrote it in 1783. Where it shows up is Nephi 1:7, Nephi 1:20, and Ether 2:12. These passages all repeat a core idea. This land is a choice land preserved by God and will remain free only if its people are righteous. Otherwise, they will be destroyed or brought into bondage. The parallel language side by side is a people are chosen by providence, a land granted as blessing, freedom conditional on virtue, national destruction as a consequence of moral failure. The destiny of the nation depends on obedience to divine principles. Liberty is not guaranteed without virtue. I think that sometimes people fall into a religion and do no research on their religion. And then they think that people like me who aren't in their religion have done no research on their religion. But that's what I do every day is talk to people about their religion. So I do go into these religions deeper and deeper almost every day. And I talk to people who are experts on these religions. Um, Joseph Smith was a con artist and he started a cult. And LDS is a cult. And so is all of Christianity. Um, but I just don't understand why people fall for it. Like, I don't understand why they fall for Jesus, but then to add Joseph Smith on top of it, I don't get it.
Can I ask a quick question, a clarifying question?
Absolutely.
Because I'm
Can I
still
respond?
trying to understand. Hold on. Um, so wait, you don't believe in hell, but you believe in destruction. So like the majority of the population of Earth is just going to be destroyed, and you think that's a good thing? Why would you be on board with that?
All right, so we don't believe that you'll be sent to hell for not believing. We believe, as it indicates in the Bible, that there are going to be three levels of glory. For non-believers, they'll go to the first level of glory, which is better than the earth that we're on now.
Okay, so it's like a form of universalism then.
I guess you could call it a form of universalism. So we believe in what is called outer darkness, and that's limited to Satan and his angels or his followers, and then also limited to people who have received the
Quick
fullness
question.
of the Father.
Wait, so if there's no
Hold on
hell,
one
then
second.
where
Hold
does
on one
Satan
second.
live?
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. So we believe that, I mean, where does Satan live now? But we believe that everybody that has, and there's going to be very few people that have received the fullness of the Father and of Jesus Christ, who have received like a testimony and know. A lot of people just have faith, but there are some people, which are going to be very few, that know. And you pretty much, like, in my opinion, you pretty much need to see the Father and see Jesus Christ, so that way you know. And then once you get that, if then you deny, then we believe you're going to outer darkness. But
Wow, that
we
is
don't believe
beautiful.
we don't
That
believe that people
is.
simply we don't believe that people simply that don't believe in Jesus Christ are going to be damned to hell.
What about the black people, Olu?
This just seems like
Black.
elitist, like as fuck. Gross. Why are you okay
How
with
is that
that?
elitist?
Oh,
How,
like only God, so God is going to choose who he reveals himself to, and then
no,
only those people get to experience the most, like the top tier
And I
of
do want to
what.
know about
I
Tommy
would like
Jay's
to I would
question
like to
because
respond to some
I
of
do want,
these.
yeah,
I would
I do want you to respond though to Tommy Jay's question
Okay,
real
so then
quick.
let me respond and
What
then
about
you add.
what
Can
wait,
can I respond and then you add?
listen, please listen. I'm the
Because
host.
there's
I
already been
direct the
something
show.
that
Please,
there's already been
please,
something you said that I wasn't
gosh,
able
I
to
don't
respond
know
to.
why men think that it's okay to talk over women, especially the host. I hate it. Stop it.
Not about men talking over women. It's
Stop
about men.
talking over me. Stop talking right now. I'm the host. Stop. Do you see how everybody else is muted? You stay that way too. That is etiquette. I would like you to respond to Tommy J for a moment because she is talking about elitism and what Tommy J asked was relevant to that. Tommy J, will you please repeat your question? Yeah,
Yeah.
Manuel, I got drama.
I heard the question. I can just
I,
respond.
uh-huh.
I would like him to repeat himself. You're not the fucking host. God damn.
This is also clarity, Olu. I was asking about what does your religion say is going to happen to black people?
All right. So etiquette goes both ways. If I'm asked a question, I would like the opportunity to respond. You
And
said,
when
host, his question.
I will
Thank you
tell
very much.
you
There we
to
go.
answer what questions I want you to answer because I'm directing the show. That's what I fucking do. Tommy J has a question. He repeated the question. I'd like you to address that question.
Yeah, but you originally said his
I
question was
do
about
not
elitism, which
care.
it wasn't.
I do not care. I want
Okay,
you to answer the question that Tommy J asked.
okay. So I will answer his question which was about black people, not about elitism, as you mentioned. So nothing happens to black people. I'm black. That's the answer.
Well, you'd be wrong, sir. In the Mormon faith, people of our skin complexion are cursed, and that's why we have our skin complexion. And I think they mixed up the brother. Is it Cain, Ham, or they mixed up who the curse comes through, because this is another false curse from a different religion that was before your Mormonism. But they tried to mix a curse that happens after Noah, and I think Ham ends up getting cursed, and so that's what your Bible will call us Hamites. We are not recipients of the kingdom.
That is real bad news.
It's bad news if you understand it the way he understands it, which is completely false. There's a
I
verse
mean, just
in the book.
interpret it
Wait a
better for
second.
me.
I
Like,
didn't
break it
get to
down for me.
respond. I did not get to respond. Please, let's have an etiquette. So there's a verse in the Book of Mormon, 2nd Nephi, chapter 26, verse 33, and it says, all are welcome, bond and free, male and female, black and white.
Right. Welcome
All are
where?
welcome.
Where?
What's that?
Welcome where?
Into the kingdom of God.
Nope. Into the Church of Mormon. You're welcome to
No,
come and
that, okay, so
serve.
now you're telling me
Yeah.
what I
Well, no,
believe.
I'm
Now
just saying. You
you're
said
telling me what
you
the
said.
book says.
I am, because I've read it too. I'm just saying. I mean, it's only a book. It's not like it's hidden. It's not like only you guys have access to it. It's on the internet. I'm saying when you read this text, it does not say you're welcome into the kingdom of God, because him writing it in a book does not give them access to that. Matter of fact, whoever, what's his name, Joseph, the man who
Joseph
looked in a book,
Smith.
he is not accepted into the kingdom of God. He wrote himself in. So what I'm saying is, when he wrote himself in that book, he also made clarification. He said, everybody come here and work for the kingdom of God. He also clarifies, though, later, that people of dark skin are cursed because they're descendants of whichever son they want to say looked at Noah naked and was like, ooh, daddy, you got big D.
You know what, Tommy? Let me go over some of that with everybody. What the LDS Church taught
Am I
about
allowed
Black
to
people historically.
respond?
Excuse me. No, I'm talking. God damn, you have an issue. What the hell is
I'm
your
not
problem
allowed
that
to
when I
respond. What is
speak,
the
you
point of me
think it's
being here?
okay for you to come off mute?
If I'm not allowed to respond, what's the
Please
point of me
mute
being
him.
here?
Please mute him. Please keep him muted while I
If
speak.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
allowed to respond,
Then
what's the
get
point
the
of me
fuck
being here?
off my stage. If you cannot let
I
the
would like
host
to
speak,
respond.
get the
I would
fuck
like to.
off my stage.
What
If
is?
you cannot let me talk, the
Why is there?
host, then get the fuck off
Why
my
is there no?
stage. The Church of Jesus
Why is?
Christ of Latter-day Saints officially
Why is
taught
there?
for well over a century that Black people were divinely cursed and barred by God from full participation in salvation
Why
ordinances. This was not fringe belief. This was
lies?
doctrine taught by prophets, enforced
Lies.
by policy, and justified
All
theologically. Core teachings as they were
twisted.
taught. Black people were under the curse of Cain. LDS leaders taught that Cain was cursed with dark skin. Blackness was presented as the visible mark of that curse. This idea appears explicitly in LDS sermons and writings. This was taught as literal history, not metaphor. Black people were also linked to the curse of Ham. LDS leaders combined biblical myths, Cain, Ham, and Canaan, just like Tommy Lee said, okay? Black Africans were said to descend from these cursed lineages. This was used to justify racial hierarchy as divinely ordered. Black people were denied the priesthood from the mid 1800s until 1978. Black men were forbidden from holding the priesthood. This was explicitly taught to be God's will, not human prejudice. Church leaders said God himself set that restriction. This meant Black men were excluded from leadership, authority, spiritual power, access to saving ordinances. Black families were barred from temple ordinances. This is critical and often minimized. Because of the priesthood ban, Black people could not be sealed to spouses or children. They were excluded from eternal family structures. Their families were, by doctrine, temporary and incomplete. This meant LDS theology taught that Black families could not be eternal. Black people were taught to be less valiant in the pre-existence. LDS doctrine includes a belief in a pre-mortal life. Church leaders taught Black people were less faithful or neutral in that pre-existence. As a result, they were born into Black bodies as punishment or limitation. This framed racial inequality as cosmic justice, not injustice. Who taught this? The names matter. These teachings were explicitly taught by LDS prophets, including Brigham Young, Joseph Fielding Smith, Bruce R. McConkie. This was not members' misunderstanding. This was leadership doctrine. When it changed and how? In 1978, LDS leaders announced a revelation lifting the priesthood and temple ban. The church did not apologize. The church did not renounce prior prophets. The church did not name the doctrine as racist. The church did not explain why God changed his mind. Later statements said, we disavow the theories advanced in the past, but those theories were once taught as eternal truth. The unavoidable conclusion: for most of its history, LDS theology taught that Blackness was a curse, racial inequality was divinely ordained, Black people were spiritually inferior by design, God himself enforced segregation. This was not culture, this was not incidental, this was structural theology. For over a century, LDS doctrine taught that Black people were cursed by God, barred from priesthood and eternal families, and racially restricted by divine design. And the church has never formally apologized for teaching that. That statement is factually accurate and historically documented. Now you can fucking respond.
So please Google, or I can just tell you, did Joseph Smith ordain Black people to the priesthood? And were they allowed to go into the temple?
Short answer: Joseph Smith did allow Black men to hold the priesthoods, but there were no LDS temples operating with full temple ordinances during his lifetime. Here's a clean, unsanitized breakdown separated so nothing gets muddled. Yes, Joseph Smith allowed Black men to be ordained to the priesthood. This is historically documented. Notable examples: Elijah Abel and Q. Walker Lewis. There's no evidence that Joseph Smith taught a racial priesthood ban. That ban begins after his death. Temples under Joseph Smith. This is where people get confused. Joseph Smith did not operate temples with full endowment sealing ordinance as we know them today. Because of this, no one, Black or white, had access to full temple systems later used to exclude Black members. So see how what you were doing there? You're trying to make it seem like he did do something that he didn't do.
No, that's not what I was trying to
What
do.
changed after Joseph Smith? Brigham Young instituted a
You
formal
didn't get to
ban
finish.
on Black men holding the priesthood, a complete exclusion of Black members from temple ordinances. So you can sit here and you can kiss up to these racists, but that's gross, man. That's gross.
Okay, so as you read, we saw that Joseph Smith did ordain Black people to the priesthood, which we believe is the power
But
of
we
God.
also had no access to full temple systems because that didn't, nobody, white or Black, did. So you can move on from Joseph Smith. Let's hit Brigham Young. Okay, let's talk about how he put that ban in
Yes.
and was cool with it.
Okay, good. I would like to go there, but first I want to point out that Joseph Smith ordained black people to the priesthood, which we believe is the power to act in the name of God. Okay,
I don't care.
it doesn't. Yeah, I know you don't
You
care,
have
but
a
I just
racist fucking religion and you don't care that it's racist. And that's fucking gross, dude.
no. You're getting things confused.
No, I'm
You're
not.
confused. You are. You're
I
confusing
really
the
wish Cyber was available right now. If anybody knows where Cyber is, go get him for me.
you're confusing the doctrine of the church with the beliefs of men.
Well,
The
but
doctrine of the Hold
Also
on, I didn't
Olu,
get to answer. I didn't get to finish. You guys keep
yeah,
talking
but
about etiquette, but I'm getting cut off every time I start
I
speaking.
didn't talk
go
about
ahead.
etiquette. You're the only one who's done that. Go ahead.
No, you mentioned that. So, um,
Oh, I
you
did. I
guys,
told you not to interrupt
you're
me.
confusing, the doctrine of the church versus the beliefs of men. Okay, so the doctrine of the church states, as I mentioned in that verse that I read earlier, 2 Nephi chapter 26, verse 33, everybody is invited, everybody is welcomed. Okay, so the doctrine of the church is everybody is equal. It isn't until the beliefs of men crept into the church and started to change things. If you look in DNC, most of the revelations that Joseph Smith received and other leaders of the church are in DNC. If you do your research, you'll see that there's no revelation in DNC about blacks not receive about stopping blacks from receiving the priesthood. There's no revelation about that. I'll be honest with you guys.
That's not what I said
We have
either,
hold
Olu.
on, let me finish. I'll be honest with you guys and I'll say we do not know where Brigham Young got this directive to ban black people from getting the priesthood. But we do know that they once did. Then for some reason, after Brigham Young became president of the church, they stopped.
Have you
But
checked
if you
I'll
his
tell
look
you
if
where
you
they
asshole?
if
got
you
it.
if you
I'll
look
tell
at
you
the
where they
doctrine
got
of
it.
the if you look at if you look at the doctrine of the church, it
If you will
says
stop saying I
if you
don't know
look at
where
the
this
doctrine
comes
of
from.
the church, you'll see that we've always been we were supposed to always be
No, you
allowed to
have not.
receive.
You're lying, and
You're
I
not
want you to
listening.
stop.
She just read to you that Joseph Smith ordained black.
Yes,
Go ahead,
and but
Tommy.
this is
Jay,
where I
somebody
stopped
keep
you.
him muted, please.
This is where I brought up my biblical text for. This is the reason why. Joseph Smith, whatever the fuck his name is, made up some shit and tried to use his Christian upbringing to make up some shit. I know where the Bible and where Christians get their idea and their justification for enslaving Africans. So it's not a foreign fucking thought. It's not even fucking new. You're trying to sit here and paint your religion as if he said everybody's welcome into the kingdom of God. He said everybody can come over here and do this work.
Mm-hmm.
Your Mormonism started out very small and very unpopular. It still is very unpopular. So of course they need people to till the land. Of course they want your black ass over there doing some talented shit that they can't get done.
Tell it.
Now what I'm telling you is I'm using the Bible to justify some shit that doesn't give black people access into the kingdom of heaven. Mormonism supported it when Brigham decided to do some American YT shit, and he said, y'all can't even come in here and worship.
Yep.
Yep.
So you are trying to make this shit fit, and you're gonna have to try harder and harder and harder every time you speak. And yeah, people want to cut you off because we get the story, we get the history. We've done enough research to run circles around every single sentence you can't even fucking complete. That's why people are excited to cut you off. Now, if you came up here and wanted to learn and wanted to hear some information that you would maybe not have heard before, or even wanted to debate a little bit, I'd say stop being so worried about having an opportunity to say something and listen for something to respond to, because you have not yet responded to the scriptures we brought up about Cain and Ham and how they comporting it and contorting it to make it be racist for them.
And let me
When
clarify
really
something.
this religion excludes them by race.
Yep.
All of these people you're referencing.
Yep. And let's clarify something. He's acting like Brigham Young just came up with this all on his own. So who the fuck what? Let's talk about who Brigham Young is. He is considered a prophet. What is a prophet in the LDS? a prophet is the divine mouthpiece of God. A prophet is not just someone who predicts the future or speaks poetically about God. A prophet is the highest living authority on earth, believed to speak directly, authoritatively from God. So when Brigham Young said whatever he said, it does not matter if he pulled it out of his ass or not, which he probably did, but I'll tell you where he pulled it
That's
out
what
of.
I said.
I know, that's where I got that from. Brigham Young's directive did not come from a recorded revelation from God in the way LDS members are taught to expect. It came from Brigham Young himself, drawing on 19th century American racial theology, and he presented it as God's will after the fact. He fucking went and said, you know what? I kind of like this. I am a racist and I'm the prophet of God. So I'm just going to go tell everybody God said it. And you guys all ate it up because you're so, I don't even fucking know why. Why the fuck would you eat up something a racist man said?
It's
Why
stomach
isn't that
churning.
the point that you go, fuck this religion? They put a racist in power? What the fuck? I don't want any part of that. Why can't you love your Jesus without that fucking religion? That's gross, dude. That's just I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't get why marginalized people of any ilk worship the Abrahamic God. Let me let my kitty out.
Hey guys, let's go ahead and share the live out. Crystal's got some gift goals. If we can get some of those met, and keep tapping the screen. Thanks for being here.
If you are a believer in the God of the Bible, I'm asking today, why do you believe? If you're a non-believer, why don't you believe? Hey, welcome to the panel, Shadow. How are you today?
Hello. Hey, how's it going? What's
Going well.
Oh, I'm just chilling. Just wanted to say a quick
Okay.
hello, mainly. But yeah, I gotta work as well. So I'll see you
Good
later.
to see you. Good to see you. Okay, well, while we're waiting for other guests, Sunny, do you want to share with us a little bit about why you don't believe?
Sure. So I guess hang on one second.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that very early Kevin Hart when he was really funny? His stand-up sketch, and he said his uncle used to be watching him, and then like if he heard a big noise, he'd be like, "Y'all better not be in that toilet.
No.
Y'all better not be in that toilet." I always think about that when like people like go on mute because they're kids.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what's worse when he's silent or when he's screaming. Like
Right.
Yeah,
you never know.
exactly. All right, I've got another guest coming up. If they're still here, they've been waiting a little bit. Let me see if they load. Oh, maybe not.
Hey Nick.
Good morning, Tommy.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Ashley. Hi, Sonny. Hi,
Hey, good
Crystal.
morning.
Well, I believe in our dear Jesus Christ because he is the only God that has ever sacrificed himself
Somebody
for
block
the
this dick.
betterment of humanity. You
Yep,
you
block
name
him.
me
We're done.
one other God. You name me one other God who's ever sacrificed himself for humanity. I tell you.
You get a little hair on your lippy lip, and now you want to talk like this. That's crazy, Nick.
Yeah, yeah. See how you are?
I mean, I'm just here to preach the word of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I don't know why you gotta be hating, Tommy. Don't know why you gotta be hating.
A lying hair.
It is a line here. Okay,
I
I'm
believe the
sorry.
gray one.
I do want to know why Sunny believe. Oh, it doesn't. Sunny, you don't believe.
No, I definitely don't believe. So I was gonna say it started like when I was like 19 or so. I started
I'm
getting hooked in.
listening, but I'm gonna get a drink real quick while you're
Okay,
telling us. Okay, I am
no
listening.
problem. So like I never really had like a deep connection or a relationship with God or anything like that. Like I just accepted the Bible and God just as like truth, just like, math. But it wasn't something that I felt deeply. I just didn't know the difference. And then when I began to actually start thinking about it, the problem of suffering is what really got to me. And like my childhood was very difficult. I was raised in foster care. And I'm thinking, why? Why did God do this to me? I was like a baby, you know, I was a little child. I didn't do anything to deserve this. So why did I have to suffer like this? And so that's when it like dawned on me. An all loving God would not allow that kind of suffering. And then from there, just kind of like the more I thought about it, like started reading the Bible a little bit more, like Noah, Noah's Ark, like that right there. There's like, no way, that did not happen. And then I tried to figure out where were dinosaurs? Like, where did they come into the equation?
Yeah.
That right there, like, always confused me. Like, why are there no dinosaurs in the Bible? Like, I did not understand that. So yeah, it just started like as I was a young adult, and
Kind of
then
unraveling like a sweater or something, huh? Where you just pull the thread and it just slowly just
yeah,
starts to unravel.
yeah. So like by my mid-20s, like I was like full on atheist, but I would not accept that title because it still like felt bad. You know, it felt like evil.
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't want to take that title. And I even got mad at somebody who called me an atheist one time. I'm like, no, I'm not an atheist. I just don't know.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yes.
That's
like
so funny.
I took offense to it and I don't know why.
I did
Because
too.
Christians teach you that they're satanic or something, you know?
Yeah. Like it just has like the word just carries like bad connotations or something. But yeah, now I'm proud and I will tell whoever, nope, I don't think there's a God. I am an atheist. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Tommy J, why don't you believe? Hey, Santa May.
Funny enough, it started with, I think I have a sculpture of them in here. Yep, I do. My favorite three men in the Bible.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Nope. And they
Knock my
said
thing.
the way they said that in church would not be appropriate for this
Let me
live.
make you big. Wait, I can't do that from here. What?
These three men right here are the Magi, and they look even more ridiculous up close. Um,
They do.
this is where my deconstruction started. But
When you realize there wasn't three in the Bible and you've been told there was three your whole life.
not the three. So because in different accounts it says wise men. It doesn't say there's no part in the Bible where it says three, right?
Right.
So I was like, okay, that's something that we've done. And then I started studying. There's this Christian scientist that studies the stars, and he was trying to say that at that time, Jupiter would what they wouldn't have known was a planet, was a star, and that's what they saw over Christ at that time. That it was in retrograde. So when they saw it stay in place, it was because of that. Um, None of that really made sense, but that's what started my questioning. And then I stumbled upon people like John Henrik Clark, Dr. Ben Yosef Jahakanen, um, Bobby Hemmett, even Dick Gregory, one of my favorite Dick Gregory quotes. He's a world-class comedian, but also a human activist. He said, if Jesus were to come back right now, next thing you know, everybody would be wearing electric chairs on their chain.
Oh yeah, isn't it weird that people now, as an ex-Christian, I never thought as a Christian that it was weird that we wear crosses, but that is fucking weird that they wear crosses. What the fuck? That's weird.
So like little comments like that led me away from feeling so justified in this faith. And then I was like, okay, let's go back into the history. That's where I started questioning God. I was like, if the God of this Bible can justify enslaving my ancestors, and then if the gods of my ancestors didn't do nothing about it, ain't none of these gods real. None of them. I don't believe in spirits, woo woo, feelings. None of this shit is real because none of this shit came in handy when we was shipped out, you know? And that's the history.
Yeah,
I can't do nothing about it. So I'm like, look, if I can't do nothing about it, a God that's all powerful ought to be able to do something about it, and he ain't. We still out here fucking scraping and scrapping.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
Um, well, Nick, you do believe, but you don't believe in the Christian God. You believe in the Norse pagan gods. Why do you believe?
Um, so my belief in them is more ancestral based, the possibility that they could have existed thousands of years ago. They were just basically the stories of the kings and queens of old, the mighty hunters, the great healers, the great wars that were fought, just told in a more, uh, the folktale type way. So I believe that they could have existed, but they would have very much been human. And so when we talk in terms about the supernatural, the woo, the stuff like that, I haven't. I really tend to stay away from that until I have like verifiable, undeniable proof. The only thing that makes sense to me. Actually, give me a second here. My dog's about to get loud.
Okay, doke. I will give you a second there. You guys,
That
thank you so much
puppy.
for 18,000 likes. Thank you for 171 shares and all the gifts. I do have a gift goal today. I love to get to 100,000 likes by the time my 3 hours are up. I've been live for an hour, so we should be at least 30,000 likes right now. So I need y'all to start tapping that screen like you tap ass because it's a Friday. And then I need you to, do all the good stuff. I do have a gift goal. If we reach the gift goal, I'll stay live until 2. Otherwise, I will be clocking out at 1 p.m. But yeah, I want to hear more about your beliefs, Nick.
So there is some ancient Iranian texts of a celebration that they used to have. During the celebration, they would invite their deities to come dine with them. And it's really curious because the way it speaks about it's not like, in modern paganism where we'll leave a chair open at the table symbolically, for our deities to sit with us. And it wasn't talking in terms about possession. It was talking about actual people traveling to wherever they were having the celebration and sitting and dining with them. They were given a tea that would heighten a lot of stuff to them. It was the same type of tea that they would give an army before a battle. So if they were...
Chamomile? Was it chamomile?
No, I didn't put them to sleep.
Oh.
No, it would
was it lemongrass? No, I just thought I'd
it
guess
would
it
have
was.
been an upper. It would have been some kind of an
Okay.
upper.
Was it
Yeah,
Coke? Was it Coke? Was it
probably,
Coke Zero?
It was probably a nice chai.
A
a
poppy,
nice chai. Yeah,
a
Okay,
little
yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
poppy.
Yes, it was
um,
Poppy.
and then we have evidence throughout the centuries, right, of when a ruler would come into power, they would kind of evoke the name of a certain deity, thus becoming part of that deity. And then they would make their own law codes through that deity, and then every ruler would have a different god or similar god, tweak the laws and the rules from there. We have examples of this happening in Mesopotamia. We have examples of this happening in Egypt. Even Rome, when their leaders came into power, they believed that they were deified. So it
So
makes...
your belief is more just historical belief in the actual ancestors of your people, really.
Yeah, yep, yeah. And also, like, certain things too, like different cultures having the same kind of origin terraforming story. Like the Norse actually share their creation story with the Babylonian Enuma Elish. I think it's the Aztecs that have a similar story, only it was a crocodile's body or something like that. I'd have to ask my kid. He just went to the store, though. But so I think thousands of years ago, someone saw something. They told someone, and the stories just got passed down from person to person to person. And depending on where you were in the world, that story changed based off of what you needed your rulers / gods to be. And it's the only thing that makes any logical sense to me.
Hey, can somebody in chat do me a favor and go check my YouTube channel and see if it's going? It says it's going over here, but I can't find it on my phone. I just wanted to say hi to YouTube. So hi YouTube. I just realized I can't see it on my phone for some reason. Anyway, no, and I don't have any problem with that kind of a belief system. I believe the people who want to venerate their ancestors and stuff, that to me that makes more sense because we actually have a connection to them that actually still exists inside our body, right? Because we share DNA with them. And to me, when you venerate an ancestor, you're venerating a part of yourself, if that makes sense. And to me, that seems, although I don't do it, I do not venerate or worship anything in any way. I just think it makes more sense than believing in some kind of imaginary magic man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only time that I pull the gods are real card is when I'm having a god eggplant measuring contest with a Christian.
Oh, no, I agree, Randy. Their fables aren't truth, and that is one of the reasons I'm not a believer anymore. Uh, it's a mixture of like everything that everybody shared up here today, but it is a mixture of going like, why did God make me suffer too? I was not in the foster system, Sonny, but I was abandoned by my mom when I was 3. I was one of 8 children. We were put in an orphanage, and then eventually my uncle got us all out of the orphanage, and then they divided us up between aunts and uncles, and we all went to live with different aunts and uncles. And I grew up in Southern California in a very nice suburban home where everything just looked perfect and peachy. And I have been told my whole life how fucking grateful I should feel about that. And but in that home, I I was always, Barb and Glenn's kid. I was never really accepted as their kid. And and I never felt loved. And then by the time I was 12, the only sister that came to live with me was killed by a drunk driver. So then I had none of my siblings left. They all lived across the country from me, and I didn't fit the family that took me. They, especially after my sister died, because then I was a I was a reminder of her, and so then after that, it became almost hatred towards me, um, and I just really don't even have any of that family. So I couldn't understand why this God is supposed to be all loving would forget me. Now I know that sounds selfish, but that was the first thought, right? Like eventually it became, wait a minute, if he's forgetting me, he's also forgetting all the fucking starving kids. He's the one who's forgetting the people who are being abused. He's forgetting all these people. And so could it be that he's just as mythological as all, hey Father Mark, as all of the gods that I don't believe in, right? Like I didn't believe in all the other gods because I thought they were mythological. And as I've told people many times, I have an inner monologue. I know some people don't have it, and I hate you guys who don't have it because I'm jealous. Okay, the inner monologue does not shut the fuck up. It's just a constant in my. You think I talk a lot out loud? You should hear how much shit I stay in my head. Um, and I always had like this ongoing conversation with Jesus, and that's who I thought I was talking. But one day I said, what if I just stop talking to this God and start treating him like he's just as mythological as every other God that I don't believe in? What will change about my life? Is something going to change? Suddenly everything going to fall out from underneath me? Like, what is going to happen? And nothing happened. Actually, things got better. Things got better because I started realizing that instead of thoughts and prayers, I literally had to get off my ass and fix problems when people told me there was a problem. And that was empowering. It's scary sometimes because I go, oh shit, this time I don't know what to do. This problem I've never faced before, and I don't know how to help somebody with this problem. But at the same time, it's empowering because before I thought, oh, I feel so bad for this person. Well, I'll just send them my thoughts and prayers, right? And now I can go, are there actionable steps I can personally take that can assist? And if there are, what are those steps? And let's fucking do this thing. And that's empowering.
Hey,
Crystal,
twin,
your
I gotta
YouTube is
go.
not. Oh, sorry.
Okay, Tommy J, have a good
Gotta
day.
go.
Thanks for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you for having me up. It
Bye.
was fun seeing all you. And Sunny, I'm sending a follow. It's nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Take
nice
care,
to meet you.
Tommy.
And Crystal, you're
Big
not
W.
on YouTube right now. I don't see you
I
running.
know.
I
Okay,
saw
thank
you
you.
on Deconstruction Junction. It looks like it was live there. So I don't know.
All right, I'll
Did
try
you
to
see that,
fit
Sunny?
Oh, I
mine
didn't.
and
I
see if
only
I
checked
can.
her YouTube. Let me go
Yeah,
into
you're
her.
live on the Deconstruction Junction one,
All right, I'll go ahead and get this one going real quick.
I think. Guys, keep tapping that screen. Thanks for being here. If you know any Christians or believers that would like to come tell us why they believe, please request or share the live. If you want to tell us why you don't believe, request up and let us know what your thoughts are.
Okay,
Hi,
I'm gonna
Joyful.
try again and see if it starts this time. I don't know why I screwed it up last time. We are talking to believers or non-believers today. Believers, why do you believe? Non-believers, why don't you believe? And yes, if you're a believer and you come up and you talk over the host, you probably won't last long up here. That's what happened with our earlier guest. I can't stand that. It drives me crazy. And I let people talk. I absolutely will let you talk, but I am going to say things sometimes because, I'm kind of the host. And if I tell you I want us to go down this line of thought, uh, talk, then that's where we're gonna fucking go. Okay, that's how it works.
Who
Hey,
let
Joyful,
Joyful up here?
I let
Oh,
them up.
I want to talk about the topic.
Okay, Joyful, why don't you believe?
I don't believe because I'm queer and I want to sin and I hate God.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Amen. And then he leaves.
And
Drop.
they leave. I'm sorry.
Wow.
They leave. Joyful,
W
you crack me up.
Joyful.
Hey, sorry, I forgot about that. My apologies. That's really yeah. I'm
You
excited.
and Joyful at the same time are gonna screw me up for a
I
little bit, so you both have to
yeah.
forgive me, okay? Because you're
No.
both like within a day of each other. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, so I got a funny story for you. Like I got a hilarious
Okay,
story for you. Okay,
okay.
so I also came out to my peeps at work, of course, because if you know where
Mhm.
I work, you just know that it's a great place. So I have a work wife and I love her to bits. For some reason I had it in my head her birthday was on the 9th. It was on the 8th. But I was there at the mall visiting and she starts going off about um me forgetting her birthday, and I'm like, well, who's gonna know your birthday better? Your husband or you? and, and, and then she looks at another coworker, and she goes, oh shit, how'd she word it now? She's my husband and she doesn't even know when my birthday is. And I'm like, did you just say she's my husband? And she goes, yeah. And we both about peed ourselves laughing because we couldn't stop laughing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know it's gonna take a while an adjustment.
That will be something I say.
Right.
That is so funny.
Oh, we were roaring, like we had tears in the eyes laughing. It's so hard. Like there's gonna be an adjustment period. And that's totally cool.
It always takes me, but I just want to let everybody know if I ever misgender you, I do it to my children and my pets too. I do it all the time. It's not actually personal. I just don't know words. It's literally just me being an idiot. It has nothing to do with what I think of you. Like I will misgender everybody and everything because that's just me. If you misgender me, I misgender you. All right, Joyful, I see how it is. It goes down that way, huh?
My grandma is really weird with animals. If it's female, she'll call it a he. If it's a male, she'll call it a she. I'm like, what's... And she's done that for years since I was a kid, and it's like, what are you doing?
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, so if you are a believer or a non-believer and you want to come up today and tell us why you believe or why you don't believe, I'd love to hear more. We have Mario back. Mario, where were you on here? I don't remember where you were. I see you guys everywhere, so I don't remember if you were on my show or somebody else's show. Were you on here yesterday? I think you were.
No, not here yesterday, no.
You've been here before, though.
Yeah, just not yesterday, no.
Okay, so why do you believe, Mario?
Why do I believe in Jesus?
Yeah.
Many reasons. I believe in Jesus primarily because he was there when I needed him.
How?
Well, I share my testimony, remember? The one on the other person's life.
I don't remember. And also all my listeners won't know, so they need to hear.
Okay. Well, I'll keep it brief. When I went to school, I ran out of food, money, and water, so I decided to call upon the name of the Lord Jesus Christ to help me. I prayed, and the next day, somebody got me a slice of pizza, got me a slice of drink, and then they introduced me to church, and they started paying for my groceries. But the point of this being is that ever since I trusted in God, I put faith that He was going to take care of me. From that day forward, from 2021 till now, 2026, I've never run out of food, money, and water, and it's a miracle to me that even to this day, God has still provides within 5 years. I think that's incredible.
Oh, so you don't have to work? He just magically provides food for you?
No, I still work as followers of Christ.
So you provide food?
No, God provides it.
No, so you provide food because you work hard every day, and then you give the credit to God because you're indoctrinated and you believe in a magic man?
Well, when the guy got me a slice of pizza and drink, I didn't have a job at that time.
So a man got you food? It didn't magically appear by God? A man did it?
No, it was God.
No, a man did it. He bought you a piece of pizza. You just said a man did it.
Yeah, but he was sent by God.
You think that? That's who you attribute it to. You have no evidence for that. You guys want to take over the question? I'll be right back.
Mario, how come God could take time out of his busy schedule to send you a slice of pizza, but he can't take time out of his busy schedule to help, I don't know, abuse victims flee? Like, why can't he help trafficked children? Why can't he help, anyone else? Why specifically you? What made you chosen and not other people who cry out to him for things?
Well, that's a good question. The Bible speaks about God's plan, right? Like, for example, in the book of Exodus, God heard their prayers of the Israelites. It took a while, but when Moses was able to fulfill God's plan, it worked out beautifully because they trusted in the plan even more. So sometimes, to answer your question, God does help all people. He may not do it right away, but eventually he
Okay.
will.
He just wants to see
So
them suffer and starve first,
yeah,
especially all
like
the children that are going hungry. Now that we've cut, benefits and so many food programs
mhm.
and care for these little children. Are you in America? Do you go outside? Are your eyes open? Do you listen to reality every day? Hello?
I live in America.
Hmm.
So why would he give you a piece of pizza but not take a 13-year-old out of a violent situation where she's being abused by her, I don't know. For example, here at the back of my mind, her stepfather for years and years and years. Why pizza but not help an innocent child get out of a really bad situation?
I don't know. I am not God.
Okay. Why would he give Martha a new car but ignore Tony being essayed by one of his priests?
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Why would he give Martha a new car but ignore 14-year-old Tony who's being essayed by one of his priests?
Who's Martha?
Does it matter? She's just asking you.
I have no idea who that person is.
Right,
You don't
but
need
you
to
don't
know who
know.
that person
Yeah, I
is.
don't know.
What?
I have no idea.
So Martha prayed and prayed and prayed for a new car just so it would be easier for her to get, from point A to point B. And she got her car after
Yeah.
only a week of praying. But, little Tony at 14 years old, who had been praying for the last 3 years really hard
hmm
that God would do something about the P3DO priest that kept doing really bad things to him, still has his prayers unanswered. Can you tell me
Also,
why
you know what? I don't think he's
God...
gonna be able to tell you that, but I do want to give him a
Oh,
little lesson for a minute. The
Yeah, you
minute
see.
I stopped believing in this God, Mario, my life also got exponentially greater, and I have never gone hungry since I stopped believing in this God because once I stopped praying to somebody who wasn't there and started realizing that I had to take care of all my problems, that I was responsible for everything, that I had the power to fix the things, and that there wasn't some God doing stuff and some demon over here doing stuff, my life got so much better
How did it get better?
because my critical think, oh, we got a better job, we got a better house, I got better friends, my community is better, they're more loving, more compassionate, more empathetic. My community actually helps people, not solely on we'll help you if you come to our church. We help you if we can. That's the only requirement for my
hmm
community is if we can, we're going to do what we can to help you. That's our requirement. Not you have to believe like we do. Not you need to go to our church and tithe 10%. No, nope. You need help.
Well,
Can we
10%
help
is
you? We're
not.
gonna fucking do that.
Well, 10% that's found in the book of Numbers, but we're in the New Testament. We're in post Jesus world. We don't
Oh
have
yeah,
to
but
give.
post Mario, yes you do.
No, we
Jesus
don't.
said, "Not one jot, not one tittle." If you're gonna come up and try to be an apologist on these TikTok shows, I think you should know that all of us know your Bible better than you do.
I
Okay,
read the Bible. Can you show me where it
you
says that?
don't know it. You think you know. You don't know it. Jesus said, not
Okay.
one jot, not one tittle of the law will pass away till all heaven and earth passes away.
Okay.
So you are under the 10% rule. And actually, the 10% isn't even handled the way the churches tell you it's handled. It was supposed to go into a storehouse so that when people who were hungry in the community needed food, it would be there. The storehouses would be open and pour open for them. But your greedy ass churches instead take that 10% and buy Lamborghinis and private jets. I am telling you, Jesus told you to follow that law until heaven and earth pass away, and anybody who teaches you not to is lesser in the kingdom of heaven.
Okay. Can you show me the verse again?
Yeah, I can pull that up for you.
Yeah, show me the verse where it says we have to do 10%.
No, I'm going to show you the verse where Jesus says that the law didn't pass away because of him.
Okay. So you can't show me the verse where it says 10%?
It's in the Old Testament, and Jesus
Right, it's in the
says
Old
the
Testament.
law
Gotcha.
doesn't pass away
I gotcha.
until heaven and earth pass away. I gotcha, Mario. I
Okay.
gotcha.
You got me?
Okay,
So
so
show
do
me
you
that
not
in the New
understand
Testament.
fucking words? Do you not understand fucking words?
Why are you getting mad?
Because I do remember you. I remember you really well, Mario.
Okay.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
reason I'm getting mad is because you're a condescending little prick who doesn't know his Bible and comes up on these lives trying to be an apologist who
I'm just
doesn't
asking where it
even
says that
know
in the
his
Bible.
Bible. No, you're not. You're playing a game with words. You said, where does it say that in the Bible? I said,
Yeah.
I'll pull it up. And you go, the part where we have to give 10%. I said, that's in the Old Testament. You go, yeah, I gotcha. Like it didn't
Yeah, because
mean
that's in the
anything.
Old Testament. We're not in the Old
Okay,
Testament.
so you don't have to follow the law anymore. Okay, just say you worship Paul and not Jesus. Just say it.
I worship who?
Paul.
Paul? Where does it
Yeah,
say we have to worship Paul?
You are worshiping Paul if you think you don't have to follow the law.
No, we're under liberty. We're not under the law.
Tell me where Jesus says that. You give me your fucking.
By the way,
Go
you're
get
under
go pull
grace,
it up.
not liberty. I mean, you
And
can't even quote it right.
No, it says liberty.
He's not under grace. Jesus didn't give grace. Only Paul gives you grace. Jesus and Yahweh never give you grace.
So you
Paul
disagree
gives
with
you
Paul?
grace.
You disagree with Paul?
Yes, I disagree with Paul. I agree with Jesus if I'm going to be a Christian. Why would I agree with Paul if I'm a Christian?
And
Okay.
and just real quick, when we look at the word, I'm gonna mispronounce the
I'm
Greek
still waiting
word.
for the Bible
It's
verse, by the way.
I said, you give me a Bible verse where Jesus says
Mhm.
that you don't have to tithe 10% anymore because he came.
So you
Go ahead,
can't show me a
Cyber.
Bible
Keep
verse?
him muted, please. Keep him muted. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
so
Cyber.
when we look at in Matthew 5:17, when it says he's come to fulfill, the word there is prolosai. And whenever you read how it's used throughout, like if we go and we look at Colossians 1:25, so that I might fully carry, right? And the fully there is the word of prolosai being used. So whenever it's being used, it means like to carry, to continue, to do, to perform. So this is what this word means. So when Matthew says like to fulfill, he's saying it in the Jewish sense, right? In the Jewish sense, we fulfill mitzvah when we do them, right? You fulfill a mitzvah every day. Every time you do it, you fulfill it. So that's what Matthew's talking about. So
It's mitzvah?
commandments.
It doesn't mean that.
That's what mitzvah means.
It doesn't.
Well, what do you think mitzvah means in Hebrew?
Google it.
Yeah, we can
He
Google what
speaks
mitzvah
Hebrew,
means.
Mario.
Google
Mario,
it.
Cyber speaks Hebrew.
Just says something.
Mario,
He's Googling right now
out of
because he doesn't know what it
curiosity,
is.
out of
Yes,
curiosity,
he does, you
Mario,
idiot.
He's literally
do
typing
you
it.
have impulse control problems? Out of
So
curiosity,
real
Mario.
quick, just because I wanted to humor him,
Okay, here we go.
mitzvah means commandment or divine instruction, right? Mitzvah, commandment, divine instruction.
Oh, so you're just an idiot, huh? Is that right, Mario? And a liar?
Okay.
Can you make me big again? Somebody? I can't make me big.
Yeah, hold on.
I think you owe
So
Cyber an apology
can
for
you
that one.
apologize? You called him a liar.
I never said those words.
Yes, you did. You said he was lying. Apologize
No,
right
I never
now.
said that. I said it never says that.
Bye. I don't listen to people who are liars.
Wait,
and I
hold
don't
on.
Listen. Nope,
Hold
I
on.
dropped him.
Yeah, I was going to say,
can
he
still-
said mitzvah didn't mean that.
Yeah, I know he did, and then he said you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
That you were lying.
I think it's the most fun I've ever had muting these men over and over and over again. It makes me
It's
so
so
happy.
much better when you're up here, huh? Because you can do it so
I
fast.
can do it fast, and they just like toggle back, and I'm like, it's so funny.
You know,
Right.
So funny.
praise Jesus, that man got a piece of pizza. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
I love that he got pizza while I got PTSD.
And I got
praise
cancer.
God. And you got
Yeah,
cancer.
and I got cancer. Yeah.
He got his
that.
pizza.
Yeah, but he got his pizza from God, who did it by a man paying for it. And he's never ever been hungry since, from because God feeds him by him going to work every day.
You're
Yeah.
right. Well, and one of my favorite verses whenever people are like, Jesus got rid of this is again, when we go look at Matthew 5:17, again, the important thing is that the Greek word, polosai, means to like to fulfill, to carry, to continue, to do. But then when you go to Matthew 23, Matthew 23 starts out with, then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. Now, Moses' seat is an anachronism. These are rabbinic Judaism. These are in synagogues for the
I thought you were gonna
rabbis.
say Moses' seat was his dick.
Yep.
Oh,
But verse 3, therefore, do whatever they teach you and follow it, but do not do as they do, for they do not practice what they teach. And then he goes on and starts calling them hypocrites and starts telling them why they're hypocrites. But he straight up says, hey, whatever the Pharisees are telling you because they sit on Moses' seat, they have the authority. He doesn't have the authority. They have the authority. Do what they say and teach. And what were they teaching? What were they teaching? The written and oral law.
that's right. It's crazy. That's crazy to me. Hey, Ben, welcome to the show. Cyber, thank you for coming up. I hope you stay up for a little bit because I have some things to talk about. And Liz, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey, I just wanted to come up for 2 seconds because, Sunny, I think it was you that was talking about being excited to actually meet people. It's so fun, right?
That
Oh,
was
that was
that
Shay,
was
but
me.
yeah.
Oh, it was. It was
Blaine's
Shay.
here.
I will.
But wait, you do that all the time, though, no?
I do, but like from the comments. I just meant from up here because like it's different and
Yeah, it's faster.
you can be fast. Like
Yeah.
super, super fast.
One thing that I miss about when Liz co-hosted with me is I never
was
had to
coming
worry
up.
about
Yes.
being on the mute button because Liz was already on it. Like before they even came up, Liz was already on the disconnect button. And
I
if
had it pulled up. Like the minute that
You're
somebody
so
came
sweet.
up, the minute that we allowed them up on stage, I already had it at the mute and block button page when I was asking them the initial questions before they started
Just in
talking to
case.
Cyber. Because you just
Sometimes
never
you
know.
just get the feeling. You just know in your gut what
Yes.
it's about to be. And it feels so good when you're right and you've already hit the block.
like as soon as a
Yeah.
buzzword, as soon as they even like started to enunciate a buzzword, they're just dropped, and I'm like, man, that was cool. I don't even know what happened.
The amount of
It's
times
true.
I had to explain to you what was happening.
Yeah, I'm like,
I know, it's true. That's why you guys actually, we have a merch store in the Deconstruction Junction Discord. If you're not a part of that, go join. Link is in my bio and probably a lot of bios for the people up here. But anyway,
It's
in
in
there, there's a
mine.
merch store. And any money we make on that merch store goes back to helping people in the community. So there is a God Mod mug. It's in the merch store, I think still, Liz, that I made because of Liz. Like you're literally, so if you're a mod and you're like, I'm a God mod out there on these TikTok and YouTube streets, get yourself a mug because yeah, she's
I need
literally the
one.
reason I
I
made it.
need one that says okay-ish mod.
You got muzzled, muffled.
I'm
You got
fine
muffled.
as a mod. Just
You're
okay.
fine. I'm
Like
gonna
half
put
the time
okay.
I'm not paying attention, to
I'm
be
gonna
honest.
make a new mug. I'm gonna make a new mug that just basically says all that. I'm a mod, and sometimes I don't pay attention. Sometimes I pay attention. I
That's okay,
jump
Shay. That's
around.
how I'm on too.
I know. I always and like a while ago, Mezzo was like, "Well, do you need to take a break?" I was like, "Are you kidding? Like, I don't do anything." It's like really not a problem.
No, well, if I see that a bunch of you are in there and I'm a mod for the same person or whatever, then I know I don't have to pay as much attention because I figure between all of us, we're good,
What
right?
happens when we all think that thought, though? When
I will
nobody's
set
doing
it. Oh my god! Every time it happens, luckily, like I will hear one of the creators going, "Is there a mod?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Oh,
And
I
I'll
should have
run
been doing
back over.
something. I should have been doing
I just,
something.
oop! I better get
I
in
was too
there.
busy changing my name. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That
Imagine.
happened with Mezzo the other night, and we were listening on a different phone, and he said something like, "I have to go do something real quick. Hopefully, there's a mod in here to make sure this guy
Yeah.
doesn't say anything
Yep.
anti-Semitic."
And then
And
he
I was like,
immediately did.
"Shit!" I was like, "Shit!" And I had to go
No,
and
he
run to my
didn't.
phone. He didn't,
He
though.
didn't
Yeah.
say anything. He didn't say anything anti-Semitic. But I ran to my phone too, Liz. I was like, and
Imagine
then you were
needing mods. I get so little in terms of opposition these days that it's like, oh, I got 2 mods, but they don't need to do anything.
Well, and the problem here's the problem with modding from chat. When you mod from chat, it takes like 5 seconds for it to take
yeah.
effect. But let's say Liz and I are and Crystal, let's say we're all in chat and I hit the mute, but then Liz hits it afterwards. Well, because of how TikTok registers it, it's going to initiate my mute and then it's going to register Liz's mute and it'll unmute them.
Well, it will send
Oh,
a
is
message
that
away.
why the guy Tahir, were you unmuting him the whole time? I thought he was unmuting himself.
Oh, so there was like 3 of us
That's
muting
funny.
him at once then?
It invites. No, it doesn't unmute him. We would have to invite him to unmute because
Mhm.
nothing unmutes a guest. They must unmute themselves. So
Well,
it probably
correct,
sends him an
correct.
invite.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It was about to ruin all my fun if he wasn't the one unmuting himself. Okay, that makes
It
me feel
was
better.
him. It was
If
totally
it
him. He
happens
was
very
such a dick.
quickly, it's him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I was faster.
I
So
definitely every day get people that my mods have to deal with. So I want to thank all of you right now because you guys are amazing. You know how many fucking misogynists I get, how many homophobes and transphobes, racists, and you guys are on it for me, and I really appreciate it. But I will say, and I do appreciate that you guys like wait to mute him until I say like up here, and I like that because sometimes I want to argue with him, and you guys let me, and then I'll say now. But what if you keep him muted and you
Wait,
guys are like, yep, I'm
wait,
on it.
Pick me.
wait, Nick, they let the gays in here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
weirdos.
Although I don't know what that's like anymore, so.
True, that's why I
I
said
can't
but
Yes.
Crystal, I do have some exciting news though.
Okay, what is
So
it?
I have a desk that finally came in. I'm getting my stuff set up and starting next Thursday, I'm going to start going live regularly again.
Yay! I'm so excited. That's amazing. Awesome.
So it will
Well,
be in the morning. It'll be early mornings, probably looking at 5, 6 a.m. for a few hours in the morning.
Oh, gross.
But
Ew.
okay then. And what time zone are you?
I'm in mountain shit time. I'm sorry, mountain standard
So
time.
that's like 6 a.m. for me. I think you're an hour difference from Pacific. From Pacific time.
Correct. Yeah, I'm an hour behind.
Okay. Okay. So maybe when you get done, you guys raid me because starting in February, I'm going to try very hard to go live at 9 a.m. Pacific time for all of you guys. I'm just not a morning person.
Yeah, I can. My schedule starting out is going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then hopefully I'll be able to, because these are times when my wife will still be in bed. So hopefully I'll be able to convince her to move to the evenings because I prefer the evening lives.
Yeah.
So that'll be the goal eventually. But for right now, it'll be in the mornings.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, we'll have to get together and do a decon Q&A when you are back. Just speaking of decon Q&A, it is back on Sunday, February the 1st, and my first guest will be Thinker, and it's going to be at 11 a.m. right after Ask. So go get yourself some Mezzo's Ask, and then come join me and Thinker over here at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Nice.
So, quick question while we're waiting for guests to come up. So and I think Crystal was there. I think Liz was on panel. The craziest thing I've had happen was somebody just kind of wasn't tracking the conversation. And one of the things I'll do, and it's clear that like they're just not understanding, is I'll be like, can you look at your feet and tell me what's on your feet?
Yeah.
And this guy was like, they're bare right now. And I'm like, can you go put some boots on because you're going to need them for this hike? And like 3 minutes later, next thing we know, we hear like crunching from his microphone. And I think it was Liz is like, wait, what are you, it was either Liz or Jake because they're
Yeah,
both on
it
panel
was
at the time.
Liz.
Was like, what are you doing right now? And he was like, well, you told me to put some boots on and go for a hike. So I'm going on a hike right now.
That was amazing.
Yay.
That was amazing.
W exercise.
Yes, yes.
He
Just
really went for a hike.
Crystal just wanted to say hi. I'm gonna drop so
Ben,
that you got
thank you.
when we got you, me, Nick, and Cyber in here, we're pretty intimidating to these Zians. So I'm just gonna drop
Excuse
right
me,
now.
I'm very intimidating. Me and
Yep,
Sunny are
yep,
so
yep.
This
intimidating.
entire
Yep.
panel
Mhm,
is.
mhm. All right, bye everybody.
Thank you for being here, Ben.
Bye.
You guys make sure you
Listen.
follow Ben. Ben goes live in the evenings, kind of later in the evenings. Really good live to listen to. Also, play some really killer music. If you like some good music, make sure you check out.
And Cyber, I think one of my favorites was the bicycle guy.
Oh, with Bethlehem.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to see that one I actually clipped and posted it.
Is
So
that what
Liz,
he's trying to tell you how close it is to another city? And you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
really? Or whatever. And then okay. See, I remember all these too.
That was good times. And he swore up and down, you could ride on a bicycle. And we're like, all right.
you could ride around all of Israel in like 6 hours. And like, so I show a few different maps of things. And it turns out that, Nazareth is about, 90 miles from Bethlehem, and there's a whole mountain you have to go over to get to it.
But you can
That is
totally ride on a
crazy.
bicycle.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
he,
for
he
sure.
never like gave up on that. That is he died
wild.
on that hill. On that mountain, actually. He
Mhm.
died on that mountain.
Okay, so listen, everybody else has been answering the question, so I want to get it from Liz and Cyber too, okay? Liz, why don't you believe?
Because it don't make any fucking sense. Yeah.
And it never
mean,
did for you, right? You
It never
were
did
a
for
believer.
me. Like I didn't most people at this point I would assume know that I didn't grow up in religion. I was never went to church. I was never indoctrinated, etc., etc. So I really didn't learn about any of this stuff until I was in maybe junior high. And I had a friend ask me, do you believe in God? And I looked at them like, what in the hell are you talking about? Like, I didn't think that people actually like believed that. Like, I guess I kind of heard, a story here, a story there. And I'm like, well, that's ridiculous, right? Because I look at the world around me and that's not how it works. There's no way you could have like, that many animals on a boat or, the stories that I heard. And that's when I like started realizing, oh, people really believe these things. And started looking into it, and it was like this is clearly mythology. Like this is clearly not true. So like I was never able to comprehend how people could truly believe these things.
No, and I always admire that about you because I fell for it all hook, line, and sinker. So I was jealous of you at first when you first told me. I was like, oh, that's what she never got tricked like I did. That sucks. But I do admire about you, like that you were able to just see it for what it was immediately.
Yeah, I get a lot of people saying that, that they're jealous and stuff, but at the same time, I understand it. I wouldn't say that I'm jealous, but I struggle so hard to really understand people who did grow up in it and the thought processes because I never had that experience with this or with, anything else that you might consider typical indoctrination of children. I just don't have that experience. And
I've always appreciated that you have always admired people who were indoctrinated into and were able to get out. You have actually told me before, what are you talking about? You fucking got out. There are people who cannot get out,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, people get so upset. Like I wasted so many of my years. Yeah, but you're out now. Like you've got to. I mean, with this or with anything else, you've got to just go with where you're at now and focus on
Yeah.
that. If you focus on the past, then that's how you're still living. Even though you don't believe the things anymore, you're still hyper focused on that, and you're still like going through all of those same emotions all the time and not letting yourself grow.
I agree. And Silly Goose said, I never needed it to make sense. It was magical. And finally I was chosen. That was very similar feeling I had, but I mean, I felt it, like I was indoctrinated into it, but that was like a similar feeling. But Silly Goose, you're chosen now because we love you. And I love it every fucking time I see you in chat, no matter which chat. I love seeing you in chat. Oh, thank you so much, Crystal. Cyber, why don't you believe?
Yeah, so many have heard my story. I grew up practicing Orthodox Judaism, and we pretty much stay in our own communities. And so there's kind of a backstory to this. I mentioned before my grandparents survived the Shoah, and when they moved here to the U.S. After being liberated out of the camps, um, they heard about this organization called the Aryan Nations that was based here in Idaho. So I live in Idaho, for those who don't know. And my grandpa got this wild hair to be like, we're going to go show those fake schnazis that the real ones couldn't get us. So they moved here, right? And then my parents moved to Israel. I was born in Israel, moved here when I was 12. But when we moved here, we initially moved to New York into a Jewish Hasidic community. And then later on, my parents wanted to be closer to their parents, my dad specifically. So we moved out here to Idaho. And when you are in a Jewish community, if I had stayed in that community, I'm not sure I ever would have deconstructed. But I moved out. Live here in Mormon land. But the verses that really started my deconstruction was the slavery verses. Those were the verses that started it. And I remember going to my grandpa and being like, what's with this? Like, the Israelites, which we're descendants of, we're Israelites. We can have slaves, and his only response was, well, if you read the Talmud, no, but this is set of scripture that you just got to wrestle with. You just got to wrestle with it. Yisrael means to wrestle with God, so wrestle with the scripture. And I wasn't okay with that. And as I did more and more studying, I came to realize that Moses never existed. If you go to a Jewish Orthodox Hasidic community, and if you're to put up a soapbox and be like, hey, Moses and Abraham, Jacob and Isaac, they never existed, they're going to look at you and probably start throwing tomatoes at you, because in the theology, these people did exist, right? They're historical figures. And the evidence of them not being there is because God just doesn't want it there. It's something that we have to wrestle with. We as a people have to wrestle with it. But I came to realize that they didn't exist. And so as I started deconstructing Judaism, leaving a deity behind is extremely hard. And I live in a Mormon community now. And so I turned to some of my Mormon friends, and they're like, oh, but you're Jewish. Read Matthew. Matthew is written for the Jewish people. Read it. And I couldn't even get through all of like chapter 1 and 2 before I closed the book, set aside and was like, whoever wrote this was not Jewish, and they don't understand Jewish scripture, and they're taking things way out of context, like way, way out of context. And then as I started to grow, my reasoning now for being an atheist is because I think it is logically impossible for a God to exist. And when I say God, I mean a mind that created everything. I think that's logically impossible, because to create time requires time. But if time has always existed, well, we know through relativity that the universe has always existed. So no God required. So that's my deconstruction story.
I like that. I have heard it, and I'm glad that you shared it with everybody because I don't think everybody has heard it before. Um, do you want to share? This is up to you. Okay. But I just remember from your story. Do you want to share about when you told your father?
Yeah, so my grandpa again was a Showa. For those who don't know, Showa is what we it means like great tragedy. It's what we refer to the Holocaust as is the Showa. And when I went to go inform my parents had divorced by this time. I'm 16 years old. And my dad is on the road all the time. He works on agriculture pumps. So he's out of state during the week and he's home on the weekends. And so my grandparents were essentially raising me and my siblings, and I'm the oldest of six. And so, we are at my grandpa's house, or my grandparents' house, and I'm like, you know, we're getting ready because where I live, there's not a synagogue, so we have to drive out of town, out of state actually. Every week we're driving out of state to Wyoming to go to synagogue, and so it's about a 2-hour drive. And in Orthodox communities, you don't drive on Shabbat, which is Saturday, so we'd have to leave the morning of, and we had Jewish family's house that we would stay at over there to go to shul in on Shabbos. And it was difficult though because I knew his history. I knew both of my grandparents' history. And so I went to tell him, I'm like, I can't keep this a secret anymore. Like I'm having issues with even believing in the faith anymore. And I went to go tell him, and he didn't say anything. He gave me a backhand and then just pointed at the door. And that was the last time I ever spoke to my grandpa. Even at when he passed away, my family had reached out and been like, "Hey, we want you there, but he wouldn't want you there. So, if you go, just stay in the back of the room. If you go to the burial, stay out of sight." So this was kind of the thing with my grandparents when I informed them. Luckily, my parents are completely understanding. They had no real issues with it, but with my grandparents, because of what they had been through for the faith, they took it extremely hard, extremely difficult.
I'm really, really sorry. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I think people need to understand how these religions just literally pull families apart. They tear them apart. And uh, that's a tragedy that it just isn't recognized enough. It's not just in weird cults. It's not in just things like Scientology that families are ripped apart. It's in these Abrahamic religions on a daily basis in houses everywhere across the United States. There are family who will not speak to people because they do not believe in their Jesus, their Yahweh, their Allah the same way they do.
Cyber, there was a question in chat for you from Randy. How frequently do people confuse culturally Jewish with religiously Jewish?
Sorry, I was doing something. That happens quite frequently. Because what people forget is that Judaism is an ethno religion, right? And so there's some things that we do that are just cultural. Like, so for example, turn my camera on here real quick. You'll see, let me turn this light on. So you'll see that I wear, these are the fringes, these are the tzitzits. You'll see that I wear them because it's a cultural thing to do, right? And so we wear these on the corners of all our clothing. You'll see them pop out. And they've got, each knot represents a book of the Torah. They've got fringes on them. And by the time you count up all the fringes, there's 613 of them. They represent, the mitzvahs. And this is just a cultural thing. I eat kosher because it's a cultural thing, not because I practice. It's just a cultural thing. And as a culture, our culture holds us together as a people. And it's something that gets weird with people. And if you're Jewish, you'll understand this. Even though I am an atheist, I have a unique relationship with Hashem. Even though I'm atheist, even though he doesn't exist, I still have, by virtue of being Jewish, I still have a unique relationship with the idea of Hashem, because this book, this Tanakh, is what holds us together as a people. This collection of stories, of myths, is our story, and it's a story of this deity doing horrific things, and how we as a people navigate the horrific things that he does. And so it's a book that's written for us to navigate our history.
Yeah, I would say when I was co-hosting for you, we probably had to explain the difference at least once a night, if not more. It came up so often because when he would say he's atheist and then we would go on and talk about something else and then it would come up that he's Jewish, they'd be like, whoa, 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 that makes no sense. And then you'd have to explain, like, no, it does make sense. It got frustrating.
Yeah, it was repeated so many times. You guys, I will be live for 1 hour more unless we meet our gift goal. Gifts are not expected, but they're always appreciated. And I'm upgrading all my equipment so I can not screw up the YouTube every single time I go live. And I will be able to go live on Twitch as well and be able to see all my screens. I can see all the chats at once. I won't have to ignore YouTube anymore. I'll be able to see when you guys send something to Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. By the way, those links are in my bio too. You can always tip me. All of your gifts and tips are really helping me. It supports my show. It supports my work. It helps it so that I have time to write more anti-sermons and write more music for you. So if you enjoy my content, if I help you in any way, thank you so much because you have liked the show, you have shared the show, you've sent gifts, you've sent in tips, and I just appreciate all of you so much. Today we're talking to believers and non-believers. Believers, why do you believe? Non-believers, why don't you believe? And I'm having great conversations today. So thank everybody for being here. If you can, though, in the next hour, I'd like to get to 100,000 likes, and we're only at 40,000. We should be at 60,000. I've been live for 2 hours, and there's 69 of you in here. Ooh. So start tapping that screen, okay? Katie, welcome to the show. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
If they don't want to start double tapping and sharing, I could always start singing old gospel music like the good old days.
No, I want to hear this. I want to hear this. Actually,
I only got a few minutes, so give me a second, Cyber, and I'll give my story real quick. And then Nick.
Go ahead, Katie. Okay, go ahead, Katie.
I remember going to my first communion. So, like, what would that be? 8, I think, as a Catholic, somewhere in there. Standing outside the church, looking at my father and saying, "Wow, we made all this shit up, didn't we?"
Wow.
And yeah, like we just did this
Wow.
because we didn't explain anything. We just didn't understand the world, right?
Do you understood the God of the gaps that early? Like that is so brilliant.
And then I was traumatized into being a hell of a good Catholic. Like so much so that, you know, I was a Eucharistic minister, lay minister, altar boy, usher, mass twice a week, never missed a high holiday. And like as a young adult, young parent looking to go to seminary to be a deacon, to then snapping back to my freaking senses and saying, oh wait, this is all bullshit, and just walking away.
Wow. How old were you when you did that?
Mid-20s. So at least 25 years ago, if not longer.
And was it just like literally one day you just were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I remember,
and then that was it?
was kind of going to church, and like my kids were young, and so I was taking them. My wife grew up with no faith. Not, she always was like, I wonder what it's like to believe. How do we believe? Like, and so I would take the kids to mass, and they would go to Sunday school, and so they already had doubts too. They're all atheists. All of my boys are atheists, and have been for a very long, like shortly after I left, if not before. I don't know. I was just sitting there, and I was like, wow, like all this stuff goes against everything that I believe in, though, as a person for people. Why am I here?
Yeah.
And I never went back.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it. I like hearing how other people deconstruct, and I think other people like hearing it too. And I think people who are deconstructing want to know, like, is that what I'm doing? Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Because I didn't, you know what I mean? I don't think I really understood what deconstruction was when I even first came into this community, right? And so I think sometimes people are confused. We've talked about it. Many of us were atheists before we were willing to wear that moniker because we thought it meant something far more sinister than just not believing in a God, right? And so there's so much that the religion puts on you that's just that is above and beyond the believing, right? And so you have to
Yeah.
deconstruct a lot of things, a lot of harmful beliefs.
And like I did leave that, and I like explored other faiths like Hinduism and Islam and Buddhists and whatever, and like all of it to me was like, no. Eventually, I was just like, no, none of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
none of it. But yeah, no, I was like a young kid when my dad is a chemical engineer, graduated college, and I used to go to school with him. So I already had like this critical mind because he trained me to have a critical mind from birth. So like it was easy for me to be like, wow, this is all just BS.
It's like you get trained to have critical thinking, and then when you employ it, they alienate you for employing it.
Right?
Yes.
Wild, right?
Yes, they do.
Well, and I would also say when it comes to deconstructing, and anybody on panel can feel free to correct me, is that when we get people that, especially the people that come on panel and they go right to like yelling at us and stuff, I think they're on the verge of deconstructing and they don't know how to handle it. They just don't understand how to handle that. They're coming to some kind of realization that the things they've been taught are just wrong. It doesn't actually make sense. It's illogical. And they're trying to piece it together. And so the only way they can piece it together is it's magic. I don't got to explain stuff, but their internal like anger is the fact that they can't make sense of it. And it's going against everything they've been taught and they don't know how to handle it.
I think there's a fear factor too about the afterlife, right? Like, because like nobody knows, no one could give an answer to it, right? And so there's comfort in this guarantee of faith and believing of like, okay, my life has purpose, and it won't end when I don't breathe anymore.
Eternal life insurance.
Yeah, and like, it takes a bit to like, deconstruct from that idea that whenever your time is your time, that's just it. It's just it.
Recently, I did an anti sermon about cognitive dissonance and quoted that like there's literal studies. Cognitive dissonance is a measurable psychological stress. It causes measurable psychological stress. It causes anxiety, rumination, irritability, emotional dysregulation, and psychological stress response. Okay. So when they are coming up here angry like that and they're lashing out at us, it is literally caused by the cognitive dissonance that sits within
That
them.
makes so much sense.
Because they hold so tightly to a belief system that when you challenge that, they perceive it as a personal attack.
Well,
and not an
and
attack on the idea or the system. It is a direct attack on them.
Yeah, because their identity is caught up in it. And that is how I was, by the way, Cyber, what you were describing. I would be the hottest one yelling at the atheists, you don't know the truth and you're just suppressing the truth, and all the things that we always hear on these panels. And I think you're right. I think it's people on the verge of realizing how untenable their position really is, which is why I really respect, the ones that don't do that and who seem to actually they're like, hey, I don't have good evidence. I have faith. And it's like, okay, well, you have a more tenable position, I think, because at least you're
Right.
confessing that you don't have something empirical to hang your hat on here.
Well, and Zach, you and I have talked about this, just a little bit, and it's a case too that, like, well, if I can get my point across, and if I can get this atheist to just question, and maybe bring them a little bit back to the fold, that kind of gives me a little bit more validity for my stance.
Right. And I think I've noticed that on this side of the line or the fence or whatever you want to call it, so many people who see the cognitive dissonance and the issues with belief and with faith, particularly in Christianity, but really in any faith, aren't going to say anything to you. And so, those of us who choose to engage in these conversations, it really comes from a place of love and care, where it's like, hey, we should have these conversations because I was there and I was struggling and it's helpful. But the majority of people who see how fallacious it is on its face just don't say anything because they're like, hey, that person's kind of out there and they're going to want to get into it with me. I just don't want to do that. I think the majority of people don't even say anything because why would they? It's not a matter of eternal whatever for them. It's just like, hey, you're not seeing reality, you're delusional, so I'm not going to engage with you. And I can't even imagine how many people I struck that way because I've always been thinking and I've always thought critically, and I always think I knew deep down that I was on shaky ground, which is what drove me to seminary and drove me to try to really discover these things for myself. And I can't even imagine how many people who I tried to engage with that just kind of were like, yeah, didn't really engage with me, but they could just see all over my face and see all the holes in what I was saying, and they just chose not to engage. And so the Christian walks away from that encounter thinking, hey, I got them to question. I planted Jesus.
I planted some seeds.
Yeah,
God's going to work a miracle through me.
Right. That is the way that we feel walking away.
It is.
And it's like, it's so raw. It's so it's just a deep layer of delusion that makes them think that. And so it's tough.
Well, and one thing that, in Judaism, we don't have this idea of like the fall of man, like this sin nature. This doesn't exist in Judaism. Like the Christian hell doesn't exist in like Judaism. It's the case that like, for Christians, like the best way to describe it would be like a potential purgatory state. It's like a purification state that lasts like up to a potential Hebrew calendar year, but everybody eventually goes into heaven. And then if you get into Hasidism, Sephardic Judaism, into Kabbalah, there's a little bit of
and then watch your mouth.
Right, there's a little bit of reincarnation put in there, but everybody goes to heaven eventually. Like this idea of hell, like hellfire was never a thing that I ever had to worry. It never even crossed my mind. But I wonder though, if that was something that I did have to think about, where would I be today? Would I have been so easy to be like, well, this is horrible, I'm going to go to heaven, and even if, let's say it turns I get there.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Like you don't know if you would felt it like so quickly to dismiss it because you dismissing didn't change your outcome for you.
Correct. But for Christians, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
It scares the fuck
that
out of you. Before we go on, I want to say something to somebody in chat really quick. Interference engine, we're just having conversations. It's not a debate. So if you think that it is a debate, then you're right. Don't come up because it's not. So you might want to go to a different live if that's what you're looking for. We're talking to both believers and non-believers today. Everybody on the panel is not a non-believer. That was an assumption you made because, well, that's what people do, and they assume, they kind of make an ass out of themselves, and that's what you just did, because not everybody up here is a non-believer. We all have different beliefs, and we're sharing how we came to non-believing, how we came to believing. If you want to come up and share how you came to believing, you are welcome to. If you think it's a debate, wrong panel, wrong live. Okay, have a good day.
Well, hold on, Crystal, but how do you justify like your knowledge? I'm kidding. I'm going to go vomit in my mouth a little bit for saying that.
Yeah, don't make me drop you off this panel, Cyber. Don't.
I was like, oh, Cyber.
She has the box open. She already told you she does.
You already know it. You already know. I'm surprised you're still up here.
And let's just say real quick, not to, shamelessly plug Crystal here, but if you look at my logo, right? So this logo comes from my very first original logo that Crystal had made for me. Before it used to be a picture of me. And Crystal had reached out to me and been like, hey, you're going live regularly. Would you like me to make you a logo? And so she made a fantastic logo for me. And then later on, when I started going over to YouTube and stuff, I wanted to update my logo. So this is an evolution from the logo that Crystal had originally made me.
I really love that he evolved, because he did do some tweaks that I was like, fuck yeah, that's a great tweak. Putting the cross upside down, love it, because I had it right side up originally. I did it. I put a cross in it intentionally to confuse people, but him putting it upside down was like, I'm going to confuse you and also kind of tell you what I'm saying right now, okay?
It still confuses people, because I have people coming up when I'm on other people's panels, and they'll be like, well, at least somebody here recognizes St. Peter's cross. And I'll be like,
I know.
Oh man.
I love that.
But if you're looking to start hosting regularly, or want to host, or you just want a unique design, hit Crystal up. She does fantastic work.
I love that. I'm thinking about stuff like that myself with all my.
And Zach, why don't you share with everybody why you don't believe anymore? Because we haven't heard your. Yeah.
Oh, happy to. Yeah, no, thank you. And as always, thank you so much for having me up, Crystal. You've been such a wonderful presence for me personally in this path. For me, it really started with questioning. So just my background, I believed, I come from a Reformed kind of fundamentalist bent of Christianity, and I really believed in the infallibility of Scripture, and I was among those apologists who had explanations for every apparent contradiction throughout Scripture, Old and New Testament. I believed it was all literal, it was all historical, it all aligned with archaeology and science and all of that. And I really believed that deeply. That was a presupposition that I held, and anything that didn't quite make sense to me, I was like, there is an explanation, I just don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. So that belief drove me to go find those answers for myself. And I honestly started to seek those things. I went to seminary in the early teens. My main concern was the original language and textual criticism. So how we know that we have the original information from the signatures the signature manuscripts that we don't possess. And essentially doing that work by comparing different text types and different manuscripts to know what we know about the Bible. And in doing that, I started to, of course, notice that we don't know many of the things that we claim that we know in Christian apologetics. And as I began to pursue those and deepen those, it really started to shake me. Now, that didn't immediately cause me to abandon anything, but it began the process of genuine inquiry, actual critical thinking, and actually questioning why I believe what I believe. And I think that the first things that were like blood boiling, but then I came to acceptance, were actually creation, I was a young earth creationist. And so I started Planet Peterson started coming up in my algorithms, and I started hearing him talking. Man, he's one of those guys as a hot-headed Christian who knew it all, I just wanted to punch that guy in the face, And now I freaking love him. I just want to hang out with him. It's crazy. It's so funny how it works. I've never talked to him, by the way. I need to do that because he was probably one of the very first voices that I was like, wow, I'm probably wrong about this, and I need to read more. So then, not long after that, I heard Dr. Joshua Bowen, and he did all of the things that I had set out to do academically that I didn't complete. He actually is an expert in those fields, in the ancient language. He's actually done some archaeology. The guy is like just brilliant. And so hearing him talk and hearing him do a couple of debates and reading the Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament I was like, oh, there's no evidence of a Semitic presence in ancient Egypt when they were supposedly enslaved. That's a problem. Oh, none of these things actually happened. I really believed that nobody disagreed that those things didn't happen or happened historically. That's what I was sold growing up. That's what my leaders told me. There aren't any scientists who disagree. And I'm like, why would they say that? Now I'm looking back, I'm like, why would they say that? And so anyway, the really big accelerators happened only a year ago when I found Jaren and Cyber, and I started to hear these I saw that thing come up. There is that Jesus and Paul never existed, and I was like, what? Hold on, I know that that's incorrect. And so I started to again just do my research, and man, very quickly, as you know, those things just began to fall, at least became seriously questionable in my head, and it led me to pretty much full bore mythicism. I maybe am a little bit of a holdout only because there's still more for me to really wrap my head around and understand, but it caused me to really be accepting of a mythicist position. So this last year has been the big accelerator point where I started actually speaking out, finding some friends in the community here with you guys, and starting to exercise the ideas a little bit more further. And then finally, I was like, yeah, I'm no longer a Christian. I can't be a Christian anymore. I don't believe that Jesus even existed as he's presented in the New Testament. How could I be a Christian? And of course, all of the other questions follow after that. So that was the big linchpin for me, was really the reliability of Scripture. Once Scripture seemed not authoritative for history, for truth, for any of the claims that it makes in it, that is what made it all fall apart for me personally.
Yeah. I think that after I realized that, oh, hey, I think Yahweh's just as mythological as all other gods. I still thought that not the miracle shit, but I thought all the other Jesus shit was true, right? So I never really thought about it, right? And then I thought, oh well, the reason people believed was he fulfilled some of those prophecies or something, right? And obviously he was a real person, and so that's why people believe. But then one day after I already stopped believing, Justin was live, and he was like, yeah, Jesus didn't even fulfill any of the messianic prophecies. And I'm like, what? That guy is a goddamn liar. I thought I liked this Justin guy. And then I got his cheat sheet, and I started going through it, and I was like, holy fuck. You mean Jesus did not fulfill one prophecy, and I still believe this stupid shit? What the fuck?
I cannot
And
believe
then I let him.
I cannot believe that.
Okay, he wrote a donkey.
Yeah, he wrote.
No.
It's not. It's
No,
not.
the prophecy of the false prophet.
The false prophecy of the false prophet. I cannot believe I forgot to bring up Justin. He was also another big accelerator for me with that same claim, that he started to demonstrate the areas in which Jesus did not fulfill prophecy. And before I ever met Justin, I knew about the Isaiah 7, the virgin birth not actually being a virgin, all of that. And so I was already kind of on that path trying to do some research. But then I heard him say he didn't fulfill even one. I was like, oh, there's a couple that didn't line up. That's what I thought until I heard Justin.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, okay, there's a couple. Yeah, but most of them he still fulfilled. I thought that. And then I heard that claim, and I was like, oh, shit. So he was a big one for me too.
And then I met Jaren because the way I met Jaren, okay, my show has changed so much over 2 years. So long before I did Decon Q&A with Crystal J, I wanted to do kind of like book clubs. There were so many authors within our community. So I started like reading a book from somebody in the community, and then I would interview them on a live. I only did a few because quickly I decided that wasn't really what I wanted to do because I have ADHD. So my brain went, no, you don't really want to do that. But I had interviewed Jaron, and so I read his book because I consider myself an actual little talk show host when I do these things. I do my research. If I'm going to interview you and you're a writer, I'm going to go read your book. You know what I mean? So I read his book, and while I was reading his book, I was just like, what in the fuck? Oh my God, he probably wasn't even a real person, just an amalgamation of a bunch of people. And Paul is obviously like not a real person, like so obvious. Like, what on earth? I did not know that preachers knew that half of the works already were considered pseudepigrapha, and yet we were still reading them as if they were sanctified by God. What? It just blew my mind. I was like, what? This is crazy. So yeah, Jaron did that to me too.
It really is. It's so funny. Early on, I saw Cyber and Jaren up together a bunch, and Cyber would have his cowboy hat on too. And so I really believed for a while until Cyber and I talked directly that Cyber was Matthew Britt, and he co-wrote.
Oh yes.
And so I was like, oh yeah, Cyber and Jaren wrote. I would even say that in like when I was talking to people, they wrote this book called Christ Before Jesus, and then Cyber came up and he was like, it's a common mistake.
Yeah. But real
we
quick,
have a joke about Matthew that he's AI. Okay.
Right.
And so
Hold on. Matthew's not AI. It's the baby. The baby's AI.
That's not what Matthew tells me when he's on Decon Q&A with Crystal J. And by the way, if you ever want to see Matthew, you have to watch my show, because that's when he actually shows up, is when they do interviews together. And there's 2 episodes with him. If you want to see what Matthew looks like, go check out that they're on my YouTube. I am Crystal J, Jae. You can find the ones where I interview both Jaron and Matthew show up. And I don't know. Suspiciously, he does sound a little AI, if you ask me.
Right. But something I wanted to say, and again, it's something Zach and I have talked about, but it's people like Zach are the reason why we do this, right? Is because even when people come up and they're angry, and it just seems like they're going up there and they're just gonna just be disingenuous. We don't know where they are actually at in their deconstruction journey. We have no idea. And so sometimes we'll see these people that just continually come up and will eye roll, and we'll be like, here this goes again. But oftentimes they'll be in Zach's position where they have all but deconstructed, and they're just trying to hold on. And so, Zach, you are the reason why we do things like this, is because you're not alone in your circumstance. There's other people who are in your boat, that were in your boat. And those are the people that we're hoping to reach out to.
Yeah. Well, it's go ahead, Crystal.
We want to provide support for people too, because Zach, as we know, like, this hasn't been an easy process for you with within your relationships, and within like just going through the whole process. We know that because we also went through it. And we're like, you know what? It doesn't stop when you stop believing. Suddenly, there is these other things that come apart that you go, holy shit, this religion did more to me than I realized was going to happen. I didn't know that simply the fact that I don't believe anymore was going to change my entire world suddenly, and people need support after, because you can't make yourself suddenly go, okay, I'm going to believe again because I don't like all this shit that's going on over here. I'll just believe. I'll just go believe. You can pretend, you can fake it, you could go to church, you could lie to everybody in your life, But you're inside, you're still going to be hurting. Inside, you're still going to need friends who understand. And some of you, if you have to fake it to stay safe, I fucking want you to do that, because some of you need to, and you know who you are. You know it's not safe for you to come out and say you don't believe. And we're here for you for that, because we know that we might be the only people you can tell.
And luckily we have other resources. We have Dr. Joe, we have Decon Center in chat, and we have individuals who um are far more like I'm in no position to try to give anybody any type of counseling. I have no training in
Well,
it, none of that. But we
you
have
know,
people.
Cyber, the Deconstruction Junction Discord server just partnered with Freedom from Religion. You can go directly to our Discord server, go right to the Freedom from Religion channel, and reach out immediately. We have people in there 24/7.
And like that's what's so
What did I
great.
say? Is it recovering from religion? I say it wrong every time. Tahir, I love you. I think it's recovering from religion, and I say it wrong every damn time. I'm sorry.
Crystal, you had me
Nick,
questioning things over here. Like, wait, what?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. I say it every. Wait, is it freedom or recover? What? Wait, what is it? Oh, you're laughing at me for freedom. Okay, it's recovering from religion. I apologize. I am so. But like, you do want freedom from it, though, right? That's not a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? But it is recovering from
We can start
religion.
another like freedom from religion thing too.
Yeah, that could be a different thing altogether. Nick wanted to say something, but Cyber, finish what you were saying. Then Nick, you go ahead.
Yeah, so and I was gonna say like that's one nice thing, especially about our TikTok community. And I think everybody agrees that you'll never hear me say I'm here to just rip your religion from you. I think that deconstruction, it's a process, and it's okay to deconstruct and still maintain your faith. There's plenty of people that do that. But it's just, are you able to critically think about the text and actually when you go and you say certain verses, what it implies? But that's what's so great about this community. Nobody's trying to rush you through your deconstruction. We have resources to help you when you find yourself struggling with it. We got resources there for it. This is just an awesome community that we have.
Real quick, I was told Freedom from Religion is an actual organization. It's just not the one that is in our Discord. Also, Dr. Joe wanted me to remind everybody that Recovering from Religion manages the Secular Therapy Project. So keep that in mind. And Randy Fitz asks, who am I interviewing next on February 1st at 11 a.m. Pacific time right here? I will be interviewing thinkers. So make sure you join us February 1st. That is my first guest for Decon Q&A with Crystaljae for 2026. So Nick, I'm sorry, go ahead, your turn.
No, you're fine. DC, because I had written in the comments section that it's earth shattering, and DC was asking how. When you are raised to believe one way, think one way, hold a belief in something that's a huge part of your life, and you build up this community, and you build up friends, and you build up, your relationship with your family, when you all gather around and get the whole family together, including extended family for reunions and stuff, and you're all praying around dinner and doing this and doing that and going to church Sunday morning. When it is that big of a part of your life, and you're coming out of it and you're realizing that it was all a fabricated lie, you're not only questioning the belief system that you're coming out of, you're questioning the people who taught you. You're questioning society. You're questioning how even how the government keeps letting this shit go on and on and on. You start questioning why hate speech is considered a freedom of religion, because they're allowed to do and say as they please with women, minorities.
I think you just start questioning all your morals entirely. I question whether I should be a vegetarian. I shit you not. This is something I think about regularly. Wait, and I'm already down to just fish and chicken because I'm starting to think I should. The more I think about my morals, the more serious I take my decisions on a daily basis in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to harm people. I want people to feel loved. I want to empower people,
Mm-hmm.
and that means I don't want to. Then I start thinking, wait, maybe I don't want to harm anything that might have sentience. Why am I
Yeah.
stopping at people?
Wow.
Why am I
Wow.
stopping there? You know, what makes me better than any other organism on this planet, by the way? And so then, so I start going, wait, but am I going overboard? Because Christianity made me go overboard. I don't want to do that either. So you really start to consider things. I want to read a few things in chat real quick. Um, DC does Recovering Christianity meetings every Saturday. Is that live, DC? Let us know in comments. Dr. Joe's driving right now, but Zach, if you don't know, in the Deconstruction Junction Discord, she has a pinned workbook for people deconstructing, and she wanted me to let you know that. Also, I think that was it. But I do want to
I
welcome Elizabeth real quick. Did you want to say something real quick before I do that, Zach?
I was just gonna say I didn't know about that. Thank you so much for showing
Okay.
me. And Dr. Joe, I didn't know you. I just followed you. Thank you for doing work with this community on that. I need it bad. I've been going it really. I'm in my head a lot. It's been a very difficult process. This holiday season was really tough. I had some tough conversations, and that's much appreciated. I'm definitely gonna go check that out. And I love Elizabeth. Let's go.
All
Yes,
right,
thank you,
Elizabeth,
Zach.
welcome to
Hey,
the piano.
hi, panel. Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. Yeah, Zach, we're here for you. Like I would say, like rumination when you're deconstructing by yourself is probably like the most torturous, like mental health thing.
Yeah,
Because it's if you feel like there's this tug of war of just gaslighting going on in you're like gaslighting yourself, and
yeah,
you're really questioning like, am I getting this right? Is this am I just you second guess everything
totally,
when you're deconstructing.
totally. And
And
it yeah.
Liz, is it okay if I drop you down real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bring it.
You're absolutely right, and I really feel yeah. Nick said you lose everything and everyone. Totally, that's how it feels. It's been great, and right now, there's even my wife is still a professing Christian. She's still a professing believer, but she's different than the rest of my family. She's been very supportive of me through this process, but fundamentally, we do have like we diverge on this, and so we've actually been going to a church that I find less objectionable than where we were going before. And one of the main reasons is because I actually spoke with the pastor the first Sunday that we went there. I told him exactly where I'm at, and he was like, "That's awesome that you're asking those questions. Keep asking those questions." And he gave me space to like be deconstructing. And man, I hit him right. I was like, I don't know that Jesus was even real because I think the evidence is bad for. I mean, you guys have heard me speak. I'm very proficient at
Yeah,
wielding this data. And I hit him right between the eyes with it kindly. I wasn't trying to argue with him, and he was
no,
very much like, Zach, this is a great place for you to do that. I'm so glad you're here. Please know you're safe here. You're safe to do that. You're not like going to be treated differently. Like, and I was like, wow, I've not had that experience with my family or with other Christians that I've known. So we've actually been going there for my wife's benefit, because she feels safe and she wants to do that and she's really enjoying the experience. And so, even on an internal familial level, this is very difficult for me because I don't have my whole context, my whole life has been Christians. It's been
right,
my family, all my friends, all my family, all my network. I got people in most states in this country and in other countries who would have me just stay with them if I wanted to because of
right.
my family and how deeply connected we were with the Christian community. Now, when you talk about outside of the Christian community, not only do I not have a lot of friends from history, but the ones who have known me are not a big fan of me because I was that asshole apologist guy who wanted to argue with them. Right.
Yeah.
So now it's like, hey, not only am I not a Christian, but I'm in agreement probably with most of those people now, but I don't have no relationship with them. I have no, so it's like building a new life, it really is. And
Well,
it's
here's the
crazy.
thing. They ask us all the time, if you don't believe anymore, why do you keep talking about it? Bitch, it was my whole life before. You want me to suddenly just turn that off? No, now I'm going to talk about how it was my whole life before. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay, I'm sorry you don't like it, but you all put that on me when I was 3. I had no choice in the matter, right?
Yep.
And you
Yep.
made me do every single thing about my life was to be around this God. And now that I realized he wasn't real, you want me to suddenly go, oh, everything that you should never think about it again, even though it was your every thought before.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not think about it, you idiot. You literally, you forced me to think about
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Really quickly,
indoctrinated.
Crystal, I'm gonna jump down and make space for other people who want to
it. Okay.
share their stories. So, Sunny, Cyber, Zach, Redheaded, Tahir, and Liz, you dropped down, but it was good chatting with all you.
Love,
Have a
Yes,
Nick.
thanks
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
wonderful
here.
rest of your day. Stay warm.
I
Bye, Nick.
actually,
Can I?
Do you know where I live?
Yep, I do.
Zach, are you about to rip your door off your
I'm
car
about to rip
right
my
now?
door off. Yeah, yeah. I took my pre-workout before I got on camera, and I got to go hit the gym right now. But
All
I
right.
could stay. I'll stay in, and I'll be in the comments and stuff. But I'm gonna go
Okay.
hit it. Yeah,
Thanks,
love
Zach.
guys.
Good to see you. Love you
Have a
guys.
good day,
I
Zach.
love you.
Cyber knows the look in my eye when I get to that point.
Yeah.
Right.
The
And
testosterone levels go up. And
Guys,
and real quick,
guys,
if you're
yeah.
not following Nick Graves and Zach, go follow them. If you're currently following them, unfollow them and follow them again just so they feel special.
You're
That's
so
awesome.
funny.
Guys, seriously, thank you so much. Crystal, thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for your love and for your care for this community. It means so much to me. All you guys, you guys have been so beautiful and wonderful. So know that it's making a big difference in my life. Thank you so much.
Well, you make a
Well,
difference in our life
we're here for
every day.
you. We love you,
We
Zach.
really appreciate you.
Love you too. Thank
Zach,
you
Have a
guys.
great
your
day.
heart matters.
Your heart matters.
Have a great day. You guys, we're going to be live for about 20 more minutes unless we reach the gift goal. Then I'll stay live for another hour. But I got a few more people that I want to say hi to real quick. So I want to I want to ask Tahir a question real quick. Then I want to go back to Elizabeth. Tahir, did you come up to share with us today, or did you come up to tell me?
Well, real
Let's
quick,
do it.
Crystal, I'm going to jump down. I haven't really been too active.
Okay, so
So I'm going to give you
thanks for being
another
here.
spot on the
You're more
panel.
than welcome to stay up here, but you do
Well, I
what you want
can,
to
but I
do.
don't want to make everyone a little scared to request up when there's so many of us up here.
Oh no, nobody's been scared. It's been wonderful, and I've loved the flow. So you do what you want to do. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome. There's still a space up top or something.
Okay, well, then
Okay.
maybe I'll hang out for just a little bit longer.
Okay. All right. Tahir, did you come up for an announcement?
No,
Okay.
so I mean, I did come up partially because of the background, but also just in that I like to do, kind of what Zach did and affirm the community, because there is so many like incorrect assumptions and interpretations about why, everybody does what they do. And I'm like, call me the decon mascot, but like, I literally just checked because I'm like, I haven't even been in the community for a year yet. And it's like, as of the 14th of January, I will have been here for a year. So like, that's how fresh out of Christianity I am. And it would not have happened if not for this community. And I've said it time and time again, and I will keep saying it. Like, I know for a fact that it started with Mezzo. I was just scrolling and he caught me with the Atheist Sunday School. And then, from him, I met Joel, and it was on Joel's show that he was talking to someone who was like, I think it was like a situation of fear. Like, he's like, I want to, leave, but I'm afraid. And then it like forced me to take a look at myself. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't really believe this shit, but I'm afraid to walk away. And that's not a good reason to stay. And he was like, after that conversation, he was doing like the altar call of like, if anybody is in the same situation, like, we have a community of people, there's more creators that do this thing, you should join Deconstruction Junction. And I was like, you know what? I think I will.
Oh, she must have got a call.
Yeah, sorry. So that's how I got,
Wait, you said
started in the.
I think and then we didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I think that's me. I think that I should. So I joined, and like that's how everything started. And like even still to the point of being in there, like when I first joined, I was like, okay, so I clearly don't believe this. Like just from what I've seen alone, it was enough to like the logical inconsistencies, all of that. But there was still like some pieces of the puzzle that were missing that would really help me lean into like let go of that fear and what have you. And that's why like, and I've told Jaron before too, but he is like probably one of the biggest pieces of my deconstruction journey, because like first I met him, I went into your decon Q&A, you were interviewing him and Matthew, and so I was listening to them, and it was just kind of like a lot of information to take in at one time.
Yeah.
And then when it came to coming up and talking to them, I was like, you know what, I'm really curious, like, because one of the things was, oh well, we have like Israel, or like the tombs and all that stuff, like don't we have Jesus's tomb? And so I went up and I asked about it. I was like, well, what about the tomb? And he goes, which one? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, there's multiple of them. And it was, I had no idea. So for me, it was like, okay, so that's problematic, so that was another, thing knocked down. And then it was reading his book too. For me, because, a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't really make a difference. Like, did Jesus exist? Did he not exist? Like, it doesn't matter. I'll grant it. But for me, it really did matter, because if we can undermine the whole start of the religion, the figure that the religion is based off of, then none of the other conversations matter. Like, to me, that just undermines the whole thing. And once I read that book, I was like, oh my God, there's no way, and I was finally able to let go of that fear that like, what if,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it really was like a step by step to knock all of it down.
It's like when you start to read that book, you start to see it for the cult that it really was, right? And you start to realize this is just like any other fucking cult. And and this one just got bigger, and I got indoctrinated into it, right? So you go like, but suddenly you just realize like they all just make up this shit, right? I don't know. It just was really eye opening for me. Let me go back to Elizabeth real quick, and then we're gonna go up to Tris, and welcome everybody to the panel. We have about 15 more minutes, unless we meet the gift goal. I will pin it for you guys there. I'll pin it for you in a second. But we're talking to believers and non-believers today, and we just want to know, why do you believe? Why don't you believe? So Elizabeth,
Wait, I'm
why
so
don't
sorry.
you?
Really quickly, I do have to
Oh,
drop down because my break was over.
okay.
But I just,
Thank you,
wanted to
Taylor.
affirm everybody and what we're doing, and thank you. It's been one of the best years of my life, honestly, being here, and I look forward to the future. That's all I got.
Oh, love
I love
that.
you,
Love
Tahir.
you,
By the way,
Tahir.
You guys.
Tahir is an admin for the Deconstruction Junction. I'm sorry, I can't blow that thing and talk at the same time. That's what she said. Anyway, so yeah, Tahir does a lot of work behind the scenes. She helps with the YouTube on the Deconstruction Junction. So if you're over on there right now, you can thank Tahir. She always makes sure that we get up and running over there on most of the shows. So like if you watch any show over there, you can often thank Tahir for that. And she also just helps in ways that you just have no idea. Like she's just out there, just doing whatever we need help with, and we appreciate her.
We love to hear
We do. All right, Elizabeth, it is your turn. Your turn. Here it is. Can you tell us why you don't?
why I don't believe. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I mean, ultimately, for me, it's just I couldn't make excuses for that book anymore. I mean, I feel like that's what it boils down to. And I had a lot of objections with like theodicy, like the problem of evil and suffering, and it's kind of like where's God and all that.
Now you were a believer, and you went off to school for this, just like many other
Correct.
people did, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah. I got
believe.
my degree. Yeah. I got my degree in biblical studies. I was going to be a missionary, and I lost my faith through that process.
And just I hear that from so many people who, well, within this community specifically, was a part of their deconstruction, was trying to learn more about it actually made them realize how fake it was.
I joke because like I was like too good of a student.
Yeah, it's true, huh? It's true. They
I
could
mean, I
joke,
graduated
well,
summa cum laude, so like I mean, it's not like I was lazy about my research.
no, no, definitely not. Chris, welcome to the panel. How are you today?
Hey, doing well. How's
Um,
everybody?
Doing well. I just wondered if you wanted to share why you don't believe. Well, do you believe in any god or gods or anything like that?
I really don't, and that kind of makes me different because I have a little bit of a spiritual leaning. I feel energy. I was a energy practitioner for a while. I got my massage certificate, and I teach meditation. So I still feel like there's something to be felt, but I don't at all attribute it to a god. But I'll tell you first why I started believing. I was only 14 and I wasn't really, I remember going to Easters and Christmases with my family when I was younger than that, but it never sunk in what the story was. So when I was 13, I tried to unalive myself because I had no friends and I felt like an abomination. My mother had taken me far from my dad and his family, and I'm biracial, and so that was my connection to my Black family. And I grew up in a very predominantly white area and was kind of ostracized by even some of the diverse crowds. So I felt like an abomination, was literally told so. And so that event kind of sparked my mom trying to find me friends, and she got one of her friends' teenage son to take me to youth group. And so I was 14, just started high school and was going to the high school youth group, and I was instantly accepted. And they didn't know what I had tried to do, but I was the token brown person in the group, so they instantly felt less racist. And I was in the drama club. I led the junior high band. I was in the high school band. I was in the chorus. I was at church every day of the week that I could get there. And at about 17, I was calling Jesus, he was my best friend. I was talking to him consistently. I only read the red letters because I only wanted to hear what he had to say. And it's not even because I had a diversion to the rest. I just didn't care. Like, I only wanted to hear Jesus. I was wrapped up in that persona, and I called God Daddy. I just spoke to him through Jesus. And so when I turned 17, my mom left state, and I was left with her best friend to go to college. And I made a pact to read the Bible. And that is the devastating. I had to mourn the two individuals that I had come to know in the last 4 years, because they were not in this book, and I couldn't find them anywhere else. And that wasn't in my church. That wasn't in people's hearts and their minds. And I started then to get kind of ostracized at the church because I had finally gotten a little bit pretty and gotten a boyfriend and was suddenly being accused. Even though I had a promise ring, I signed a certificate to God that I was going to wait for marriage. And I was engaged to this gentleman at 18 years old, and they were harassing us about having relations, which we weren't. And there was no convincing them otherwise. And they had us go through counseling. It was very traumatic. He also wouldn't let me wear my engagement ring to his house because his dad was not fond of his brown girlfriend. So I was going through all that and realizing that, this wasn't, so I became Gnostic. I actually went with the idea that it's all a metaphor, that, Christ consciousness, and it's our heart being sacrificed for, the good of, killing off the ego and all the things, and moved more into the mystical idea that, this is actually how humans just kind of told a story about being more than just for you, about caring about others. And I continued through the pipeline until I really kind of hit atheism. And it probably started with the Zeitgeist movie. And even though it's really incorrect in its history, it helped me understand that there were more stories. And I started reading the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas and just really got into the oldest spiritual places I could get, the Egyptian mystery schools, just what was it humanity studied and why did we come up with these father figures? Like clearly we needed parents. People were unaliving at 40 and 30 years old. You know, an elder was maybe 40. And so for us, there's so much trauma as children growing up in humanity. It became very obvious to me that these were, and then the manipulation and the social aspect of how to create a people who feel guilty just for being human. And, you know, that's where the whole my own personal physical needs with another partner became such a guilt and shame thing for me that my first time was so devastating. I cried. I actually got pregnant that time and miscarried. It was just a very traumatizing experience when it should have been beautiful because I love that individual and it should have been something that we shared together. And we broke up and I had to call him and tell him I was pregnant and I actually miscarried all over the pregnancy test. Like it was really traumatic, all because I thought I was breaking God's heart by being a human being that had made a connection with someone and wanted to share something. And nobody taught me about contraceptives or anything. So it's like I very easily was about to be a trad wife, was about to be sucked in permanently to that. And so, you know, I thank my first child for kind of peeking in and letting me, you know, shaking me to the core about the gravity of being a human in a body. And I wasn't ready for a child at that time. And then I started getting into Matt Dillahunty and the Thinking Atheist on YouTube. And I was just watching videos and realizing I didn't know what was in the Bible until I became an atheist. Like I barely made it in a couple chapters before I was like, oh, this book isn't for me. And realizing what really was in it. And I was like, how I should have read this early on. I was a thinking person. Somebody would have handed me the book and been like, hey, check this out. See if you want to join up. And I was a book reader. So I would have read it. But it was about the feeling of the community. It was about feeling accepted. It was about the music and the high that you get singing music with people and teaching music. And that it's, I mean, I can feel it right now. I can recall that feeling of just that group exuberance and the chills that you get. Like I can see how people get sucked into that. And we need community. And I feel like that's kind of been stolen as something that Christians do.
Yeah.
Right. And it's nice to finally, in the last 2 years, I started with Thinker. I found Joel, like it steamrolls. Once you find one of them, it just opens up a whole world of conversation and things that I didn't think people were talking about. I really thought I was the black sheep of the world. Like me and a couple of people on YouTube didn't believe this shit, but it's everywhere. and realizing that no, there really is a large pocket and it's growing. And this community has been so helpful in just where to find resources. Because a lot of us are still, we may find a community here, but we're still in pockets in our real life to where this is hitting us every day, our family, the people we run into. I get told God bless you every day, like learning how to function with that. You know, I was pretty outrageous when I first became an atheist and I drove all my family away. I was just like, this isn't real. Why didn't anybody tell me? How could you let me spend 5 years of my life dedicating to this? How could you not tell? And just everybody shut me down. And so being able to, you know, speak to people who've gone through the same experiences, who've had to maybe even hide it, and just how to function in what seems like a whole world of delusion and fairy tale. And in learning to conversate with people, and that's probably the biggest thing in the last year, is I get so heated because it seems so obvious to me now. But to watch people like Thinker and Joel and Mezzo have these very calm conversations where they walk people to the point. And some of them may walk right by it or kick it over, but it seems to help so many people and me on just how to talk to people And just the hundreds of people that are watching, I'm just so excited that young people who are questioning, even if they're still believers, have somewhere that they can quietly listen. And they don't have to be called out by their friends for even just listening and asking questions. And then they can come up and they can explore their beliefs. So it's been really beautiful. And some people have really cool guests, and some people have the most outrageous, horrifying humans I've ever seen in my life. And I'm
Yes, it's true.
the things that comes out their mouth so confidently and so calmly, and they're horrible. They're just horrible. And it's really been sobering to understand that those people walk around and function and vote and have children and marry women, and they're out there. And I need to be aware of that and understand that not everybody finds this as obvious as I do. And I'm so glad there's resources for that to be opened up to new people and for people who have been struggling with it to have somewhere to go. So I'm grateful. And thank you for
That's
letting me tell
because
my story.
Christianity is steeped in Stockholm syndrome.
For sure. Rab, thanks for coming up. I was going to have you talk about why you do believe, but we could do that on another day. I'll be live next week, Monday through Friday as well. I did hear a reoccurring theme with many people today. I think everybody had like really their own reasons for believing or not believing. Um, but I think that one of the reoccurring themes with a lot of the non-believers was just really the fact that this God can't be like all it claims to be. It cannot be all loving and there's so much suffering. Cannot be all good and he created all this shit, right? Cannot be those things. So as we close out the show, I want to share with you guys one more time. And if you haven't heard it, this is my last song on the album Ex Parte. Ex Parte will release everywhere on January 15th, but you could pre-save it today. And when you pre-save, it really helps me. It boosts me out there. Also, if you don't mind, if you go look at Crystaljae on all your streaming services, you will see another little EP. It's only 12 minutes long, and it's an amazing EP. It's called A Seat at the Table. If you haven't listened to it, you should. But here we go with You Saw It, my final song on the Ex Parte album. Oh, screwed that up already, didn't I? I forgot to turn up the volume for you. Okay.
Awesome. Have a wonderful day, Crystal.
Men didn't have the nerve to name you, not with truth, not with blood on their hands. They spoke around you, over you, safe behind their power and plan. They praised what you did for them. They trembled as you gave your name. They wouldn't dare think to name you. No, that would be my claim to fame. I didn't bow when you found me alone. No one else to hear what I'd say. You didn't offer a name for me to whisper, so I named you from my view of you that day. You didn't offer me a covenant, no altar, no future, no claim. What I had was a body for trading, and the courage to give you a name. The God who sees, nothing can hide from you. The God who sees nothing outside your view. You saw it, 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 you saw it. The story's been told for generations, passed along from voice to ear. I called you the God who sees, but it's not how it appears. Like a game of telephone, it traveled, every telling changed the view. Each preaching made it softer, each repeat a little more. You saw it, you saw. Far from my home, isolated, afraid, a body alone in a borrowed land. You saw me doing what I had to do, trying to obey their every command. You saw the cruelty, saw it plain, saw it hand me over like a toy. You saw what was taken again and again. You saw my body and heart destroyed. I ran when escape came in. You believe distance might set me free, but you found me there in the wilderness and sent me back to what you could see. I named you the God who sees. They heard it as something kind. They said you saw my heart, said it was part of your design. It was never meant to compliment. I named you the God who sees. It was always an indictment. You see it all and do nothing. You see the children, you see their pain, their hunger, their bruises, their abuse. You see the men who harm them while claiming they worship you. You see global wars, you see the suffering, you see it all from your throne and do nothing. You saw it, 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 you saw it. I didn't name you by accident. I didn't kneel, I didn't plead. I gave you a name that fit. I named you the God who sees. You saw it, 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 you are the God who sees. You saw it.
You guys, that is You Saw It. That's my latest song. You can go watch the video. I made a really, really cool video for it. That's on my timeline. Also, A Seat at the Table are pinned. You can watch Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 on my pinned post. And you can go listen to A Seat at the Table everywhere you stream music under the artist name Crystaljae, Jae, and pre-save Ex Parte. Ex Parte has all the songs you guys like. It has Water's Edge, Abelina Ballerina, Consent, Miss Me with That Misogyny, No Kings, No Gods, Ex Parte, and You Saw It are all available on the album Ex Parte that is being released on January 15th. So go pre-save it today wherever you get your music. Who can we raid right now? Revise, join me next week and come up and talk to me. I'd love to hear about how you didn't believe, because it fascinates me that there were people who never believed, and I like to hear about it. If you don't mind coming up, who's live right now that we could? Abelina Ballerina. I thought people wouldn't like that song, and people love that song. I thought that because it was such a removal from my other songs, and it was bluegrass, that I thought people were going to go, what are you doing, Crystal? But it has really touched a lot of people. Zena, okay, let's go see Zena May. You guys go raid Zena May and say Crystal loves you, Zena May. And I will see you right here on Monday at 10 a.m. unless the baby is born, and then I'll see you whenever I see you. Okay. Bye. Have a great day.
You want it to do.
No, he doesn't tell you.